This is Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet on News 4.
Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. The fans, they've been lining up for hours. Tailgaters, this game different tonight. Year 2 of the big-time rivalry. Wando playing the host, Lucy Beckham High School. Jack DeLongshaw alongside the legend, Everett German. Everett, this rivalry, it means a little bit more.
Yeah, you're in Mount Pleasant, a couple of miles between the two schools. Wando, Lucy Beckham, Wando, probably the biggest high school in the state. Lucy Beckham just in their second year playing varsity football. Boy, are we in for a treat tonight.
So much tradition, so much history just being built. Last year, Lucy Beckham winning game 1. But tonight for Wando, we look at Reggie Grant to be their X factor, to maybe give the Warriors the edge.
Yeah, their coach Rocco mentioned in order for Wando to win tonight, they've got to run the football. It's all going to start with Reggie Grant.
Lucy Beckham, obviously they're growing a program, and they're doing so on the back of the junior Chalmers Ballard, a second-year starter. He's really growing into his own.
Just manage the game. They want to run the football. Lucy Beckham, they want to be kind of put their will on Wando. So, again, as the quarterback, just don't make mistakes. Don't turn it over. Manage the game. Lead your team to victory.
Coach Smith said that, hey, they want to play smash-mouth football. Well, last year it was a bloodbath. This rivalry so deep, so meaningful for the community of Mount Pleasant. We've got a big one on hand. Welcome back into Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, where tonight's preferred home services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, is brought to you by tonight's national anthem, sponsored by South Carolina veterans, helping veterans and their families thrive. We're about T-minus 5 seconds to kick off here, just east of the Cooper. The rivalry matchup over who will dominate Mount Pleasant for the next calendar season. The inaugural first kick just a year ago, won by the Beckham Bengals, 8-6. Tonight, Wando looks to avenge last year's loss. As ball meets foot for number 91, Jack Pottinger, we are underway. It's going to be received by number 3, Mason Ombres, and tackled and wrapped up. A little bit of a late scrum, but clearly down by contact. And joining the booth tonight with Everett German. And Everett, emotions already clearly very high.
Yeah, of course, whenever you have your rival, just a couple of miles, as you mentioned, separates these two. Tonight's one of those nights you got to play with emotion, but not play emotional.
Well, these are the individuals that are going to take a look at these starting lineups, brought to you by Preferred Home Services. Starting at quarterback, our guy to take an eye on, it's going to be the junior quarterback, Chalmers Ballard. See Mason Ombres, Henry Brosey on the outside looking to help out. We're going to see a lot of running backs. Everett, both of these teams love to dominate the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where they both want to establish the run, and that should then open up the passing game for both of these teams. Both of these teams run the football very well.
You take a look on defense. Up front, it's going to be Connor Neal, Corey Deese, Nick Flood, Jamison Bell, Brock Feinberg, Braden Berry, Cole Fletcher, Jaheim Weston, who we'll see on both sides of the ball, Caden Green, Michael Jenkins, and Trenton Vogel back in that secondary to round things out for the Warriors.
What you're going to see tonight for both teams is, again, swarming defense by the Wando Warriors. Looks like the first Warrior there to greet was Braden Berry. a lot of hats to the ball tonight. You won't see a lot of individual isolated tackles. You're going to see 4, 5, 6 for both defenses getting to the ball. The first third down of the night coming up here for the Bengals.
You know, both of these coaches mentioned to us earlier this week, Everett, about staying on time. Both of these teams want to control the rushing game, and obviously third and long bodes well for the Warrior defense. Ballard, how about that little out route? He finds Mason Omers, a great ball from the junior quarterback, Chalmers Ballard. He talked about playing with emotions. How difficult can it be for a young quarterback who, again, second year starting, but you can see he delivers a perfect strike to move the chains.
And that was a simple throw. Great call by the offensive coordinator there, Christian Hart. Just something simple. An out pattern, or actually I should say a curl pattern, just come back, an easy delivery and a first down for the Bengals.
That first down brought to you by Mr. Sparky's. Mr. Sparky's finest electrician. You can see another really nice defensive play on the outside. It looked like that was Jameson Bell first to hit.
Jaheim Weston also coming from his, looks like, safety position. Right now, both teams probably not expected to face a lot of passing, so you're going to see a lot of 8-man boxes for both squads.
Oh, a nice ball on the outside to the big fella, Bryce Rothwell. He's rumbling, tumbling for about an 8-yard gain, but Rothwell's starting to get a little bit of college attention. You can see they're really trying to kind of involve him in the offense early.
That's a big body right there. Whenever you have a tight end like that can not only block but also catch it, not going to be the fastest, but it's very hard to bring that young man down.
See, third and short, they'll go back to the ground. It's about a 3-yard pickup from Steven Seegers. It'll be enough to move the chains.
And see what happens, Jack, is when you can throw the ball with accuracy and make completions, then what happens is now all of a sudden that secondary, you can't creep up. You have to back up a little bit, which is going to open up running holes for the backs. And you mentioned, Jack, we'll see 2 to 3 guys rotating in for this Lucy Beckham. They want to come in waves at you, just slowly but surely move the ball down the field.
Another really nice ball on the outside, but just outside the outstretched arms of Mason Ombres. You know, Mason Ombres was a guy that Coach Jamel Smith, he raved about his work ethic this offseason.
Yeah, one of those situations you got to put the time in during the offseason. That's when you earn your playing time, is in those hot summer days when all your buddies are going to the beach or, you know, playing, was it, I don't know, Nintendo, or I guess Nintendo's back when I was playing video games.
Think Nintendo's making its way back.
Yeah, you know, Atari, all those great video games. But yeah, that's when you earn these types of minutes on the field.
Back to the ground to the Oceanside Collegiate transfer. That's Steven Seegers again. Seegers, a really physical runner. They've been really pleased with his ability and that rush game to kind of add a new dimension to that backfield.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that balance, their bread and butter is going to be to run the football, but if you can also throw it, it really keeps that defense kind of on its heels and away from being in attack mode.
Seegers picks up about 3. It'll be Chalmers Ballard in the backfield out of shotgun. Ball tipped away. A nice play by number 8. That's Sam outside linebacker Cole Fletcher. A deflection will lead to 4th down.
Yeah, sometimes you can. If you can't, obviously come up with the interception. We see Wando head coach right there doing a great job for the Warriors in terms of Rocco Adrian. Of course, he took over the interim job in 2020, and then, you know, now is the head coach, the man leading the charge here for this Wando Warriors, and actually the guy that he replaced on the other sideline.
I was going to say, it's going to be a massive storyline for tonight. If you're tuning in with us on ABC, the lines blurred between Wando and Lucy Beckham. We've got a coaching tree kind of drawn up for you. It's going to be the quarterback Ballard punting things away. Looking at about a 30-yard bounce with an advantageous Bengal roll. You mentioned Rocco Adrian, the relationship between he and head coach of the Bengals, Coach Jamel Smith, can't be understated.
Yeah, of course, Jamel was on the staff at Wando before taking over and really started this program here at Lucy Beckham. So you're right, and you talked about it. We'll talk about it later in the broadcast, but a lot of guys on the Beckham sideline used to being on the sideline, but as assistant coaches for Wando or even head coaches for Wando.
I was going to say a home away from home, Jamel Smith, the second-team All-American linebacker at Virginia Tech. You're going to see that this Beckham bunch, they really take on the identity of Jamel Smith, who served some time. He was a graduate assistant at Virginia Tech, who coached at Coastal Carolina, and now pioneering this incredible program here in Mount Pleasant as Wando will look to get things underway.
Yeah. Rocco mentioned they're going to have to be able to run the football. If they can't, it could be a long night for them. So both teams doing their best to establish the ground game here tonight.
You're going to Here's your preferred home services starting lineup. This is what Wando is going to line up offensively. It's Zachary Osthoff, the senior quarterback. He knows the offense really well. It's Reggie Grant in the backfield that we talked to you about, a really talented junior running back. Kai Correa, he's a guy that's going to line up in the slot for Wando. Keep an eye on him. A team that really loves running the football. If they can get Correa, who's a dynamic playmaker, involved tonight, could be a huge X factor for the Warriors.
You see here early on our first penalty of the night, offsides. Let's not forget Wando didn't have the luxury, Jack, of playing last week. Kind of used it as a bye week, of course. Lucy Beckham, very impressive in their victory over Lake Marion. A shutout, a game that they only gave up, I believe, 7 total yards. I'd say that's getting it done on the defensive end.
See Osthoff going to hand things off, and he is met by a flurry of Bengals. The first, the captain, number 18, the senior Drake Bull. He's the first on attack.
I think Coach Smith said basically we want not 2 or 3 we want like 6 or 7 helmets around the football every single time. And not only get there, but when you get there, be angry that you're there. That definitely tells me that sounds like a coach that definitely played on the defensive side of the ball.
Sounds like a second-team All-American linebacker
Yes.
ever throughout this incredible Friday Night Rivals season. We're going to keep one of our favorite lines so far. Get to the football in a bad mood.
Exactly.
Osthoff, he's going to deliver a bomb downfield, and he's going to find a man. That's number 2, Carter Adams. He'll be tackled at the Bengal 22. How about the delivery and toss from Osthoff as he connects with Adams, the 6'6", 185-pound senior.
And I've always said in those situations, you got to take a shot. Even if it's not a completion, it loosens that secondary up. So I'm sure they were creeping up, expecting to run, and Wando hits the big play down, and just like that, the Wando Warriors on the move.
You know, Everett, we don't want to sound like a broken record. Last year is last year. Both of these coaches made sure to mention this. It was an 8-6 defensive juggernaut. But both of these quarterbacks look very poised in the pocket right now, looking to score some points in this year's match.
What a difference a year makes. You know, you've seen it. You've gone through the trenches. You've had an opportunity to work with your guys. You know it's your team. And that's why we're seeing both of these quarterbacks looking a little more comfortable in their approach.
You can see how fired up Osthoff is that big-time 30-yard pass. He'll take us to our first break of the evening as we've got Wando, Lucy Beckham, the battle of east of the Cooper, as we head for a quick break. Welcome you back into Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Jack DeLongchamp sitting alongside Everett German, and the Warriors, they're knocking on the red zone. Yeah, just like that, Jack. The first play was a run, which is what you somewhat expected. Rocco mentioned that, hey, we got to run it. If we can't run it, we can't have success. They hit him with the big play with the pass. So far, both quarterbacks have looked nice throwing the football, so both defenses are going to key on the run. This could be an aerial attack tonight. Osthoff is joined in the backfield by number 23, Reggie Grant. And he'll hand it to Grant. Grant finds the seam. It's about an 8-yard pickup, a really shifty move to inch closer to that first down.
We asked Coach Adrian who was going to be the top back, and he said Grant. They've got 3 or 4 guys that they can throw out there, but Grant is the one that kind of has that home run speed, and also, as you can see, a tough runner between the tackles. So Grant going to get a quick blow, and now the next phase comes in. Both teams want to wear down both defenses.
Talked about the importance, so cliche, importance of those front 5 on both sides of the football, and right now it's the Warrior front. This time the handoff to number 19, Jaheim Weston. Weston, a senior who plays on both sides of the ball. He's met by the big fella. That was number 92, Jaden Moore.
And Jaden Moore Also on the stop for Lucy Beckham, it looked like the big guy also, Jakeem Evans, there to greet and make that tackle.
Speaking of Jaden Moore, he's going to pioneer a really talented front for the Lucy Beckham Bengals. You see the Preferred Home Services starting lineup. Jaden Moore, Marshall Evans, Daniel Fletcher, Jaquan Evans, Perrin Ketchen, a really talented corner. Robert Myers, Drake Bull, Tyler Kinlock, Hank Apelli as well. This, a really veteran group, although a really young program, a veteran defense for Jamel Smith's Bengal defense.
And a veteran defense going against a veteran offense. Wando with 8 guys back on offense.
Whew. And a really athletic play by Zachary Ostap to even just jump on that, as there was a couple big fellas. You saw Marshall Evans honing in on what could have been the first turnover of the night.
See, as a coach, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. You had the big play. You were inside the 25-yard line. Couldn't capitalize. Obviously, Wando, not close enough to attempt a field goal, but also you don't want to punt it here unless you have a pooch punter. So we'll see what Coach Adrian and the staff elects to do here on 4th down.
That's actually special teams coordinator and really incredible wrestling coach, Coach Schneider, talking with Coach Osthoff about how they want to attack this 4th and really long. They're looking about 4th and 15. The Bengals defense remains on the field, and it's Osthoff back out.
If it's me, I throw it down the field, maybe get a pass interference or try to draw something. If not, then you just rely on your defense.
You know what? Maybe trying to draw Lucy Beckham offsides. It's going to be a delay of the game. Not sure if they got the timeout in before, as there's a hanky in the backfield. In the meantime, as we try to sort things out, we're going to take another quick break. Again, it's Wando really looking to inch into that red zone. We'll be back in just a few. And 15, and the Warriors opting to leave the offense on the field. Osthoff, he's looking deep, looking to find a guy. It's Perrin Ketchen in coverage, and it's Ketchen with the interception. And how about Everett? He's 3rd already in the short season.
Not a bad idea by Wando. If he throws that ball a little shorter and throws the jump ball, I really feel that would have given his teammate Carter Adams an opportunity. If you take a look at the replay here, you see he had good air under it, but if he throws that short, but he actually threw it over his head right into the hands of the waiting defender. You're right, 3rd interception of the season. He's a ball hawk. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Bengals.
Perrin Ketchen's a really interesting athlete. You know what? We're going to go take a look at Trooper Bob. Trooper Bob, our sideline reporter. We're going to kick it down to him.
Hey guys, I'm on the field with Dr. Eric Gallion, Superintendent for Charleston County Schools. Thank you for being here, loud on the field.
Yes.
I know you're excited. You welcomed the students back Wednesday, and they've been a couple of days since school started. How is everything going?
It's going great. I've visited schools. I've seen students in action, and that's the greatest part about this job, is to really see it all in go.
I know you've spoken to your staff and your administrators. What are some of the priorities that are emerging this school year?
Well, there's a variety, but one of the things that emerged across all the campuses that I visited is attendance. Attendance is a major priority for all administrators and teachers this year.
You're coming to your 100 days to a close, or I'm going to say it's in the books. What are we looking forward to as far as the community? What's next?
Well, the community can expect me to come out with a report to talk about some of the trends that I heard over the 100 days in the various communities. So I'm going to try to compartmentalize it in a way that it can represent the entire community.
Dr. Gallion, we thank you for what you're doing. Congratulations. Kickoff to a new school year to you, your staff, and all the students there at Charleston County Schools. I'll send it back to you guys.
You know, as we introduce you to our third member of the team, Trooper Bob, what an incredible piece with Superintendent Dr. Eric Gallion. And in the meantime, at Beckham Bengal rushing attack, rumbling, tumbling onto the other side of the 45-yard line. It's Steven Seeger, the Oceanside transfer, making his impact felt early.
The only thing stopping him from making it to the house, obviously, is the tackle by Connor Neal. Good job of not giving up on the play and getting him down, but a solid run there by Seegers. And once again, the Bengals in Wando territory.
You see the incredible message from Superintendent Dr. Gallion is, I mean, this has just got to be such an incredible night, Everett, for both of these programs, student-athletes galore, but really for the community as a whole.
Yeah, and really Charleston County. You know, the school district, school just started on Wednesday. You have a new superintendent, a lot of energy, a lot of just excitement in the air. Hopefully the school district going in the right direction, and you have the superintendent out here, and to come to his first game, I believe, here this season, and to see this, very impressive, the showing here tonight. A sold-out Bob Hayes Field for Wando and Lucy Beckham.
It's Ballard, a little play action. He's going to look to bounce it to the outside. Ballard looking to just gain a yard back, as it was an incredible rush from the big fella, Corey Dees Jr. We haven't said his name quite yet, but Dees standing at 6'5", 300 pounds. He's tough to miss out there.
Well, and he's the leader of the offense and defensive line. You know, Coach Adrian mentioned that one of the returning starters on the offensive line, he kind of leads the guys. Those guys look up to him. So playing both ways, and now on defense, applying the pressure on the Bengals.
Ballard and the Bengals facing another 3rd and long. They're looking at about 3rd and 9 as he was able to pick up just a yard in that quarterback scramble. Ballard looking to step up. He finds Rothwell again. Rothwell reaches out for that first down. I think he's going to have enough for it. There's a little bit of a...
Was it a complete pass?
There's a little bit of a scrum for the ball late. It looked like to me upstairs that Rothwell, that knee was going to be down. I think the officials are going to say he was down by contact as well.
Well, yeah, they're signaling a first down, so I wasn't completely sure if he had possession. As we take a look at the replay here, a good job by the offensive line of the Bengals, allowing Ballard some time to throw. He catches it, but see, I don't think he really had it, Jack.
Was it a football move, right? As he reaches out looking for that first down?
The NFL's done screwed it up now with a football move.
Seegers, quite a football move on his edge. That cut back up to the middle of the field. Seegers is dashing.
He's running angry tonight. He definitely wants to touch the end zone, but a big run by Seegers.
I was going to say, and excuse me, I think that was actually number 6, Robert Myers, the first that we're seeing of Myers, the senior running back, dual threat guy. He plays D-back as well. Sometimes that 5 and 6, they can trick us upstairs. A really nice game from Robert Myers.
Bengals on the move. Now let's see if they can capitalize on this promising drive.
Love the up-tempo offense as they hit Trevor Reynolds with just a quick screen right now. It looks like Chalmers Ballard is wildly in control of this offense.
And they're giving him easy throws to make. He doesn't have to read the defense. As we take a look here, just a quick pitch and catch. And a nice run that time by Trevor Reynolds, and actually drug a Wando Warrior with him. And the Bengals inside the red zone.
And for the first time tonight, the TEC equipment rental red zone, we rent the good stuff. By the way, they're providing that scissor lift all year long, giving us all the best angles. And talk about another angle. That's Steven Seegers just a yard shy, a nice 5-yard gain as the Bengals inching close to that tried and technical touchdown.
And this is the area where the offensive linemen really love. They can lower those pads. It's helmet on helmet. I'm better than you, or are you better than me? We're going to see which line can establish control of the trenches on this big 2nd and goal play for the Bengals.
And excuse me again, that was Robert Myers on a really nice 5-yard dash on the inside. They're doing a great job of interchanging Seegers and Myers, and it looks like maybe a hold on the play to back up the Bengals.
Actually, it's going to be a legal procedure. That will negate what would have been a big run. A great crew here tonight, Jeff. Tommy Brush, the referee. John Peak, umpire. Jay Tyo, the linesman. And then you got Hank Welch and Steve Brush. And, yeah, so a good crew out here tonight for this big game.
We were blessed enough to have them last week with us for Cane Bay and Buford. And you can see, check out the fan cam. You don't think it means something to the student body tonight?
Bragging rights in Mount Pleasant.
You think for the last calendar year, those Beckham Bengals, you think they've been in the year of those Wando Warriors?
Now, who won the basketball game between Bengal and Beckham?
It was Andrew Glover. It was his Beckham Bengals winning by almost 18 points. And Ballard, he finds his man again. Bryce Rothwell. Look at the big body. He goes up and snags our first technical touchdown of the night.
Wow, just throw it up to the big guy and the big tight end with the soft baby hands. Comes down with it. Bengals strike first.
Bryce Rothwell, he's a three stud on the lacrosse field, but he and Chalmers Ballard, quite the relationship. That's already the third catch of the night and a huge touchdown grab to get the Bengals on the board early.
I didn't know anything. Clearing out the tight end, finding the big guy. He's a big target, and that's why the Bengals able to get into the end zone.
Well, the Beckham Bengals and Christian Hurts offense, they're not looking to be relenting. I mean, look at Steven Seeger fighting for that 2-point conversion, and they run behind the big fella, Seabrook Kellett, on the outside firing up that Bengal crowd.
Bengals strike first. Now let's see how the Wando Warriors respond, but a great drive by Lucy Beckham.
That touchdown brought to you by Trident Technical College, your future, your college. And with the way that Bryce Rothwell's looked tonight, he's going to have his picking of the choosing when it comes to playing in college next season.
I kind of feel like the coaches set us up because all they talked about all week on these interviews is we're going to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Now they come out here, look like Texas Tech, throwing the ball all over the place, scoring touchdowns. Just a very well thought out offensive game plan for Lucy Beckham. Wando's done well, but they've not been able to capitalize and actually put points on the board. So good drive by the Bengals.
Everett, let me ask you that. Is that something that kind of happens throughout a game? You read what the defense is giving you, or is this kind of Chalmers Ballard growing up right in front of our eyes?
I think a little bit of both. I mean, if you got 8 guys in the block, or in the box, I should say, you only got 6 guys. Well, 6 can't block 8. So if they're going to cheat up and they're going to give you isolation or one-on-one coverage on the outside, or as you can tell, I think they found a matchup that they like, the tight end on the linebacker, then just keep going until they make the adjustment, which then should allow them to pound it out.
So head coach Rocco Adrian coached at Furman just to return back to Mount Pleasant. Was the defensive back coach under Jamel Smith, as Jamel Smith was the defensive coordinator under head coach Jimmy Noonan. We'll talk a little bit more about him as well. But so many relationships kind of as they look across the field at each other. How does Rocco Adrian's group kind of respond after a nice marching drive?
Well, we always talk about it. You know, there's no pressure because pressure is when you're asked to do something you're not prepared to do. And Wando, obviously, practicing all summer, as has Beckham. It's a one-possession game. You can feed off of what you did the last offensive possession, but you just didn't finish what you started. So now, obviously, they struck first, but as we all know, sometimes it's not how you start, but how you finish. So let's see what Wando has here. Meanwhile, you know that Bengal defense is going to be fired up to kind of get that ball back to the red-hot offense of Lucy Beckham.
The kickoff for Lucy Beckham after losing star Jack Weil last year, who's now at the Citadel playing. It's going to be number 38, Graham Thomas, doing the kicking. He's a really talented sophomore, and he booms one away, and the Bengals special teams unit wrapping them up around the Wando 15.
Yeah, I see a 7 in there. I also see a 17 in there for the Bengals. Right now, everybody's having fun. Gage Powell, one of the first Bengals there on the stop. So, yeah, you got a little pep in your step now. You know, your offense got you some a little bit of cushion. Got your 7 points, and now the defense back on the field. What will the Wando Warriors do?
See Zachary Osthoff coming out thanks to the ABC4 fan cam. You can see, I mean, these student sections,
packed.
So much pride. I mean, it's beautiful to see.
It is absolutely packed. Both schools, they want that bragging right for 364 days.
Kai Correa in motion at the bottom of the screen. Osthoff will hand. That's number 23, Reggie Grant. He's your player to watch. Nice game of about 5.
You can tell Grant, some guys just look like they can tote the mail and a running back, and Grant has that look. You know, does seem to be running a little high, might want to get a little lower to kind of protect himself, but so far a good start. And that's what you want, Jack. On first down, you want to be able to pick up 4 or 5 yards to give yourself, well, really to open up the playbook on second down and 5.
I was going to say, and a testament to the Warriors to stay within their game plan,
yes,
despite what the scoreboard says.
Yeah, you can't just start throwing the ball all over the place. Stick to the game plan. Still plenty of football left to be played.
Osthoff from shotgun joined in the backfield with Grant again. They go back to Grant. He's met by that big fella again. Got a weird feeling we're going to be saying the name of Jaden Moore all night. He's able to talk to offensive coordinator Christian Hart. He's like, hey, man, that guy's a menace on the defensive side of the football. He's got a really bright future ahead.
And that's one thing we're starting to see now more and more across the low country. There's a lot of guys playing both ways. You know, back in the day, you may have had one or two, but it seems like now, especially in the trenches, you know, you see guys, hey, if you're a stud and we'll give you a blow on special teams, but if you can go both ways, that's what a lot of coaches in the low country are relying on their players.
Zostoff looks like he's going to go from shotgun again. The Warriors facing about a 3rd and 3.
And I think it's crucial for Wando to get a first down here. You got to pick up a little momentum back. You don't want to go 3 and out.
They go back to Grant on the ground, and it's going to be close. Looks like he's going to have enough. A really nice run behind the right guard, Harrison Hayes. Hayes, a junior, but standing at 6'1", 220 pounds. Coach Adrian said, man, he really busted his tail in the offseason.
A lot of guys, I think the Wando and Beckham as well, players kind of had a sour taste in their mouth about the way the season ended last year, so really had that motivation starting in December to get back in the weight room all the way through spring practice and the summer. A lot of guys really have earned this playing time that they're getting by the effort that they've put in over the summer.
You know, Everett, I misspoke. The far line judge is saying that was going to be a yard short. When we come back at the start of the second quarter, Coach Rocco Adrian, he's got quite the decision to make. The Warriors go for it in 4th and 1. But that first quarter, it was all that junior quarterback, Chalmers Ballard, as we head to break. Friday Night Rivals, preferred home services driven by Cruz Chevrolet. It's preferred home services. Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. And the Warriors come up just a yard short. And it's going to be number 92, Jake Houston, on the punt, looking to flip the field. Warrior defense try to get a stop, get their offense a chance to tie this ball game up. Houston end over. Looks like it's number 3, Mason Hombres, on to receive. Nice punt by Houston to flip the field.
Good job to get them out of trouble. As the Bengals had 10 guys. Wasn't sure if they were going to set up a return or go for the block. Went half and half. Just played it safe. Now the Bengals back on offense. And I'll tell you, if I'm the offensive coordinator here, first play, you already know what I'm doing. Throwing it down the field, Jack. You kind of have them on their heels. They're a little weary here. You know, you can't knock them out here in the second quarter, but you definitely want to keep them on their heels. Let's see if Christian Hart takes a shot here.
Ballard, you can see they're going to look downfield. A little bit of a miscommunication on the route between he and Mason Hombres. Hombres runs a quick post, a little skinny post, and I think Ballard, I think he heard you. I think he was looking for that fly shot downfield.
I mean, again, that's one, and I like the size of Alvarez. You know, a 6-foot guy, 160. On those guys, like I said, don't overthrow them. Just throw it short. Give those guys a chance to go catch the ball at the highest peak and come up with the play. But unfortunately, not able to connect on that particular pass. It'll be second down for Lucy Beckham.
Ballard will hang. This is the first of the night that we've seen of Charles Byrd. Everett Byrd. This is why you love high school sports. Charles Byrd, an absolute stud student athlete, takes care of the business in the classroom, takes care of business on the gridiron. Coming back from an AC injury that he suffered in last year, late in the season. Now Byrd already back, Adrian Peterson type stuff. He really busted his tail in the training room, and now he's making an impact on Friday nights.
And he's just a determined guy. You mentioned it. He's excelling in the classroom, which is the most important thing, and then also on the field. So when you have a young man like that, you really like to see him be rewarded for his hard work, not only on the field, but in the classroom as well.
You get to talk to offensive coordinator Christian Hart as well. They use him in a lot of different spaces. You'll see him line up in the slot, you'll see him line up outside, and you'll see him in the backfield as you do now as well. How about that? Just a 4-yard curl from Mason Hombres. They go find your guy again, Everett, and a really nice ball from Chalmers Ballard to move the sticks.
Yeah, Michael Jenkins and Caden Green on the stop for the Wando Warriors. They gave him a lot of cushion. And if they're going to play that far off, yeah, just run a 5-yard curl, come back, deliver the ball to him, first down. Because what's going to happen is now they're going to cheat up, and that's when you can go over the top and hit them with a big play.
That first down brought to you by West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. And the brand is Smash Mouth football. But that ball may have popped loose. Was the knee of Charles Byrd down before that ball popped out after about a nice 12-yard gain?
And I literally was going to say on the first carry, he's kind of loose with the football as we take a look at the replay here, but somehow they get it back. You got to be protect that ball a little too high. Ball comes up, but give credit to him as he goes and gets the fumble to save the possession for the Bengals.
Really nice play by Mike linebacker Brock Feinberg to not give up on the play, poke that ball loose. But Charles Byrd, what could have been a miscue, is a nice 11-yard, again, West Shore Home, first down. And it's Ballard. He's taking a shot again. And guess what, Everett? He heard you. Ballard delivers a perfect ball on that outside shoulder. That's another West Shore Home first down. And a great catch from Mason Hombres.
You simply want to suck them in. So that first step is ahead. Hey, that's where you're going to have a little trouble. He's got the size on him as well. Delivered the ball perfectly. Kept it in play where he had a chance to make the play. Didn't throw it too far over his shoulder, out of bounds. Again, the Bengals inside the red zone.
Christian Hart opting to go to that up-tempo offense. He digs it to Charles Byrd, and Byrd, welcome back, young man. You can see he's crippling. He's dancing. Technical college touchdown. Look, he said he's crippling with those crutches. Doesn't need him anymore. He busted his tail. He's made his way back, and that trident touchdown, that's huge for the Beckham Bengals.
Yeah, we call that the ACL Bengal dance. Okay, it's right up the middle, hat on hat, didn't get touched. Clean, lay the ball down, act like you've been there, and that's the ACL. Oh, no, I'm good. Touchdown, Bengals. The Bengals are rolling.
Trident Technical College touchdown, your future, your college. It's the beauty of sports. You love the underdog story, but this guy's so crucial to the fabric of the offense of the Lucy Beckham Bengals, and you just love to see him fighting back from injury and coming back in just week one. So impressive as the Lucy Beckham Bengals play. The Bengals, they take a commanding 15-0 lead. How do the Wando Warriors respond? It's Preferred Home Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. We'll be back in a few to see how Rocco Adrian's group respond.
Retired tonight.
Preferred Home Services and News 4 are proud to present each participating homeschool a check for $500. This grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school great. Over the past 13 season Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have blessedly donated over $140,000 to Low Country students and schools. Congratulations to Preferred Home Services and News 4. I believe we have that presentation with our main man, Trooper Bob, on the sideline right now.
$500. I'm here with Principal Ann Dassing. How will this money help the school?
Oh, it's a wonderful gift. We appreciate it so much. We're going to use it to beef up our athletic facilities. We'll be 5A next year. We're expecting that, and there are lots of things that we need to do for our students. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Trooper Bob handing out cash tonight. Send some this way.
It truly is. I mean, you and I are so lucky to be able to do these games and couldn't do it without our sponsors. And Trooper Bob, you can see with the big check, kind of making the day. That money goes a long way for these schools.
I just think he meant in that pay to section, I think he meant to put EVE and just finish out, not, Lucy Beckham High School.
As you can see, a booming kick from Graham Thomas. And before we see Wando's offense, let's go down to the sidelines again to Trooper Bob, where we have our Thumbs Up Guy Educator Spotlight. The Thumbs Up Guys, your personal injury attorneys at Miller, Dawson, Siegel, and Ward, winning cases, winning your trust. Trooper Bob, what you got for us?
Great fun. Our students are back. We have concerts planned. We've got theater productions planned. All the athletics. Just a lot of really fun things going on.
Best of luck for the school year. Congratulations on the $500.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, send it back to you guys.
We appreciate you, Trooper Bob, as that Bengal defense is prowling in the backfield. And again, to remind you, we couldn't do it without them. Those $500 checks, they're presented to you by, obviously, the Thumbs Up Guy Educator Spotlight, your personal injury attorneys at Miller, Dawson, Siegel, and Ward, winning cases and winning your trust. And this defense is winning my trust right now, dude.
Tyler Kinlock in on the stop. This is a dangerous time for Wando right now. Another 3 and out. You're buried in your, obviously very close in your field of play. So Wando's somehow got to find a way to get a first down, even if it's just to give them some breathing room.
You can see right now this offensive front is having some problems.
Yeah, the problem is Jaquan Evans. Jaquan Evans is the problem right now. He's been in the backfield all night long. A great job by the 5'10" junior. And I'm not going to say this is the biggest play of the game, Jack, but third down and about 14. You're down 2 scores, and you're inside your own 10-yard line. Wando's got to come up with something here.
Just got to give their punter, Jake Houston, a little bit of time to breathe. And it's Zachary Osthoff. He's joined in the backfield by Reggie Grant. Let's see if Jamel Smith brings the pressure. It looks like they do. They go for a third straight handoff. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's Jaquan Evans on another big stop.
With an assist from Robert Myers as well on the stop and a 4th down. And right now, all Bengals, as the defense is fired up, the offense, they're in rhythm. If you're Jamel Smith, you couldn't ask for a better start here in the first half.
He told us, I'm telling you, it might be our best line of the year. Get to the football in a bad mood, and this defense, they look like in their one heck of a bad mood.
And we got to check, we talked about Coach Smith played at Virginia Tech. He patterns his coaching style after Bud Foster, the great defensive coordinator at Virginia Tech. His thing was always having a lunchbox on the sideline. Means you need to come to work, do your job. So we got to see if we can find that old lunchbox there on the sideline, because right now his defense is absolutely getting the job done.
Well, I don't know if we have it on camera, but Jamel Smith just ran about a 4.5 40 from the 40 to about the 10-yard line, because he actually saw that clock going and dwindling down, and it's going to be a delay of the game and yards that they did not afford. You can see right now the Wando coaching staff urgently trying to get their special teams unit rolling.
And right now, it looks like they're going to set up. They're bringing 10. If it's me, I just set up for the return, because you're going to get great field position regardless of the punt here. So let's see what happens.
A line drive of a punt from Jake Houston. It's Mason Ombres, the playmaker. He bounced it to the outside. It's about a 14-yard return. A line drive punt, but almost outkicked his coverage. And we just keep saying Mason Ombres' name all night. He's been spectacular.
He has indeed Alex Hamlin there on the stop. And once again, great field position for the Bengals as when we come back, they'll be inside the 30.
Late on, we got it. As we welcome you back into Bob Hayes Field, Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet and Everett. We're getting to them here mid-second quarter, but we got to talk about our Cruz Chevrolet keys to the game. Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers, just north of Northwoods Mall. You got a friend at Cruz Chevy. Your keys late into the second. Beckham looking to run away for it. What you got for us?
Well, I think for Lucy Beckham was on the line of scrimmage, check. Play with swag, check. Wando Warriors run the football, no check. And stop the run, no check. And that's why Lucy Beckham is up 15-0. At the end of the day, it's all going to come down to the trenches. So far, Lucy Beckham has owned the trenches, offensive line, defensive line. That's why they're on top. Now, don't forget, last week we saw Buford and Cane Bay. Buford got off to the early start, but it was Cane Bay that made the adjustments in the second half, came back and won the game. So, again, still plenty of football left, but Wando absolutely needs to keep Lucy Beckham from getting any points on this drive.
Mason Ombres for the next 12-yard gain. Your last key, by the way, don't play with emotion. Don't play emotional, play with emotion. A late hit on the end of that return has got Bengals in unbelievable field position. I got to hold my breath. What an unbelievable run on the outside.
I mean, it's just they're taking the fight to Wando. Wando's not responding. Lucy Beckham, the Bengals, they smell blood. They kind of feel like it's getting close and close to them, not getting off the mat. Wando has got to do something here, force a turnover. They just need something positive to happen, and it just did not happen on that play.
I got to tell you, man, this Steven Seeger's kid's angry. The Oceanside collegiate transfer. Well, he took you in to the CEC Equipment Rental Red Zone, his name, an equipment rental. And you know what was really friendly of them? They kept giving the ball to Steven Seeger, and he piled into the end zone for a Trotter Technical College touchdown. Steven Seeger, he extends the lead. Beckham 21, Wando still with a goose egg.
Well, I mean, he's giving the business to them, kind of like Trotter Technical, is kind of giving out free college, I mean, it's just the same. It's almost kind of like the charity effect here. But, yeah, that's right now Lucy Beckham. And it's crazy to think, but Wando really has no answer for Beckham. They can't stop the run. If they try to stop the run, of course, then Lucy Beckham has the ability to throw the football. But right now, it literally looks like man against boys, and Wando's got to get off the mat. They're going to have to respond somehow, some way. It could just be a big play down the field, but right now, nothing going right. We heard the stat during the last time out, Jack. Take away that 42-yard pass that Wando had in the first quarter. Wando -1 yards total offense.
What did you see there? It was Graham Thomas. Looks like the Bengals have found another kicker. He absolutely splits the uprights to push the lead to 22-0. It was two immediate handoffs, and the Bengals back into the end zone. Right now, Everett, I've just been really impressed with the tempo of Christian Hart's offense. It looks like in just Chalmers Ballard's junior year, he's got full control and kind of almost playing in a perfect cadence with his offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Hart's called a masterful game thus far. Of course, Christian Hart, a former Wando quarterback, also quarterbacked at the University of South Carolina. But, yeah, he's called a gem tonight. He's kept this Wando defense off balance. And then, quite honestly, he really hadn't done – he's just running it down their throats. There's no trickery. It's just man on man. My pads are going to get lower than your pads. I'm going to push you down the field, and our big backs, led by Seegers, is going to follow behind all the way into the end zone. So right now, they're roaring in the jungle here at Bob Hayes Field because the Bengals are getting the job done.
Well, Everett, I got to you brought it up. Obviously, Christian Hart, a Wando quarterback, arguably one of the greatest Wando football teams of all time back in 2011. How about the return? How about Kai Correa? I told you before the game that he was the guy on the outside. What a nice 33-yard return to try to bring some life into that Wando sideline.
We talked about it. Something positive. Now you just had the big kickoff return. Now let's see what they can do offensively. Great job by the Warriors. Little wedge there. Give him some room to run. Able to run through some tackles and get all the way up to near the 40-yard line. So that's a positive run for Wando. Decent field position. Now, let's see, we can't go 3 and out if you're a Wando Warrior fan because that would not be good. First down coming up for the Warriors.
You know, Correa, too. I told you he was a spectacular athlete. How about it just as a freshman, a starter on the Wando Lacrosse State Championship team? And you see why he fits in so well. He plays in the slot, plays on the outside. You see him in the kick return game. I think if you find a way to put the ball in Correa's hands, a lot of really good things happening as well.
So you got 7 minutes left here in the first half. If you're Wando, you just got to find a way to get some points on the board here, preferably on this drive.
Osthoff, he dumps it off to Cole Fletcher, and he's tackled almost immediately on the outside. Looks like he's going to be wrapped up, I believe. That was number 55, Jaquan Evans. Yeah. We've seen him in the rush game and now in the pass game as well.
The guy can drop in the coverage. That's a guy that just can do it all from a defensive standpoint.
Osthoff looking to dump it off. It's going to be right at the feet of Brock Feinberg. We talked about Feinberg on the defensive side, that middle linebacker. He also plays in that tight end fullback set as well.
Well, they always say, Jack, the way to slow down that rush, just throw a screen. So you can tell they're coming every single time they're trying to apply pressure. Just throw a screen, get your offensive lineman out there, and let those guys just release down the field. So once again, another 3rd down and 9. Wando has not been in third and favorable positions all night long. So let's see if the Warriors can come up with a big play here.
Osthoff joining the backfield with Reggie Grant. It's Carter Adams on the outside. He was looking for Adams, and he comes up just a bit short. Adams runs a really precise route, but the timing just not on right now as it's all Bengals all the time.
Yeah, again, that pressure coming straight into the face of the Wando offense. Warriors did a decent job of picking up the rush from the Bengals, but unfortunately not able to connect. And as a result, another 4th down. If I'm not mistaken, Jack, this will be the unofficially third or fourth punt of the night for the Wando Warriors.
4th time that we've seen Jake Houston. He's done a great job looking to flip the field. As it looks like we're going to see a timeout for the Warriors, unable to get that special teams unit set.
And what you also have to worry about is this defensive Wando, they've been on the field practically the entire first half. So they're also tired. If your offense is going 3 and out every single time, it's hard to really ask them to be able to kind of sustain that pressure all night long. So, yeah, that defense is slowly but surely probably wearing down.
And this was a defense that was really top 10 in a lot of different defensive categories in the entire state of South Carolina last year at the 5A level. Now, this is also a defense that lost 8 starters.
Yeah.
To me, look for the big fellow. We haven't said his name quite yet. He's an outside linebacker on lineup. Jamison Bell, one of those starters from last year. He's their vocal leader. Look for him to step things up for the Warriors.
But again, when you have guys playing both ways, it's rough enough playing both ways. Then you add to the fact that you're having to chase this Beckham offensive skill players all over the field. Yeah, it's not conducive to having success.
So we see Houston on the punt. He'll fire it away, and I think that was the big fella. Jaden Moore almost blocking that punt, and Mason Ombres that might be the most exciting 2-yard gain on a punt that we're going to see all season.
Now you see me, now you don't. So he kind of put the brakes on. But again, great punt coverage by Wando to limit him to a small return.
See Christian Hart's offense will head out. You know, we got a little bit sidetracked. I do need to make sure that we say it correct. Christian Hart, one of the best quarterbacks in the history of Wando High School, now the OC over at Lucy Beckham. He actually played his college ball at Coastal Carolina. It was his little big bro, Bailey Hart, another Wando kind of, got to retire that guy's number 2. He actually played at South Carolina as well. I'm telling you, the tradition, the family lines, they're all over the Bob Hayes field tonight.
You have to think Coach Hayes is smiling down. Of course, we'll talk about him as another big run. And, well, doesn't look like that ACL is hurting him right now.
Charles Byrd, maybe the best story in the Low Country. That's a huge, call it a 42-yard gain.
Hugh Dupree with the touchdown save. Look at the big guy out there. Just run behind your big guy. The big guys with the pancake blocks down the field and Byrd all the way into Wando territory.
They're going to stick with that up-tempo offense. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's Robert Myers. He's going to be tackled at about the 1-2. What a run by Myers. They go right, they go left, and right now Sawyer Hearn, the left tackle, and the right tackle, Eli McInnes. Those big fellas on the outside are having their way with this Wando defensive front.
Jack Lurkin, the only guy between that and the touchdown, and obviously the TEC equipment rental red zone. The Bengals looking to punch it in once again.
The friendliest name in equipment rental. Right now, this is the friendliest offensive front. These running backs are going to owe them some McDonald's after the game or something. They are having their way up front.
Actually, I think last week they said it was like being at IHOP because there were pancakes all over the place in terms of their blocking. And tonight, they look like they're going to IHOP again because they just continue to own the line of scrimmage.
I absolutely fumbled that pun. I believe it was Bryce Rothwell on Twitter, the guy who's got a touchdown in the air. He takes pride in blocking. And Everett, you found it on social media. He absolutely loves those pancakes.
And those big guys up front, they're having fun. Like right now, this is fun. It feels like your opponents are kind of not, maybe they don't have that chip anymore. So right now, those guys are they probably got snot and coal coming out their nose, and they're just odd. All they see is red in the end zone right now. That offensive line doing a magnificent job for the Bengal offense.
With Ballard, he's going to look to throw. It's number 16. What a play. How about the ball to Henry Brosi for the Trident technical touchdown? Chalmers, Ballard to Brosi, junior to senior. The Bengals, we're going to run it, we're going to throw it. They can beat you in the air, they can beat you on the ground. And Christian Hart is absolutely firing on all cylinders tonight.
Back shoulder throw, perfect location, threw it where only his receiver could catch it. DB had, honestly, no chance on that one. And I hate to say it, but it looks like the route is on right now. Just having their way offensively, defensively, special teams, everything going in. I said in the open, unless Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase comes on the field for the Bengals, Wando has a chance. Right now, it looks like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase because right now, the Bengals throwing it all over the place.
That preferred home services replay, Everett. This is just a junior quarterback, yet he's handling this composure, playing in front of a sold-out crowd here at Bob Hayes Field. Chalmers Ballard, I'm telling you right now, this junior is a name that we might need to recognize a little bit more often. He looks completely in control.
He's in control. The game's not too fast for him. Everything's slow right now. So he's literally seeing plays develop. And again, that's a throw where you have to throw that perfectly, and he absolutely did that, throwing that to that back shoulder. That's when you and your wide receivers – during the summer, you're out here throwing routes. They know they're in sync. They're almost in sync like the group. Right? Is that a group name? In sync?
Yeah, in sync. Yeah, is it Bye Bye Bye?
Is that the Bengals trying to wave Bye Bye Bye? Yeah, the Bengals are.
I don't know, man. I think our pop culture could use some homework. I did a lot of homework on this game, but I'm going to come back with some NSYNC action for you next week.
Sounds good. Just don't make me sing.
I think our incredible sponsors would be exhilarated to hear you sing next week, Everett.
We heard Jamel Smith tell us that each week they have goals, Jack, in terms of what they want to give up in terms of their defense. And right now, it's safe to say they are definitely pacing well.
Another nice return to Kai Correa as he takes it out to about the 28. That Bengals special teams unit run by head coach Jimmy Noonan. Kind of dive into that a little bit too, Everett. Jimmy Noonan, long-time tenured Wando High School coach. Now, the protege becomes the master. And you obviously see Jamel Smith. He was the defensive coordinator for a long time for Jimmy Noonan and the Tribe. And now, kind of to have the opportunity, really regards Jimmy Noonan as a mentor of his. To be able to now have him on his staff has been a really rewarding moment for Coach Jamel Smith. Yeah, Coach Noonan went to Georgetown. I think he was the coach here a year or two, came back, and like you mentioned, he's now the special teams coach here for Lucy Beckham. So that's a guy that's played a lot. They just work well off of each other, and you're right, what a better mentor than having Jimmy Noonan. It's actually the young sophomore quarterback Harris Stone that we're seeing for the first time tonight. Stone is a really impressive athlete, about 6'3", 200 pounds, a really bright future. Seeing his first action in the rivalry. Beckham defensive goals each week. Hold your opponent under 100 yards rushing, under 125 yards passing, and 275 yards of total yards. So far, so good for this Bengal defense. Again, this is coming off last week where they only gave up 7 total yards in the win against Lake Marion. That's pretty good. It's like this 95 Bear almost had another interception there. Perrin Ketchen is looking to break the state record in interceptions as that one just barely goes through the mitts on the outside. Ketchen, an incredible baseball player here for Lucy Beckham, looking to play at the collegiate level, and he definitely will, but he's making secondary coaches around the state of South Carolina give him a call. Well, we joked with Coach Smith. I said, so is your defense like the 85 Bears or the 20, I think it was like the 2012 Baltimore Ravens that they did the 30 for 30 on? But right now, this defense, they are in sync. It seems like there's probably 15 of them all over the field. They do a great job of covering sideline to sideline, not letting the offense get comfortable. Stone scrambles out to the outside. He's looking for Carter Adams, and he won't find him. This Bengal defense, outside of that 43-yard bomb to Carter Adams, have just been stifling the Warrior offense. Catching again. I mean, the offensive line of Wando having fits, blocking that aggressive, angry, athletic defensive unit of the Bengals. You hit the nail on the head right there, Everett, too, coming off the field. Coach Jamel Smith, he's not coaching like this is a 29-0 game. He understands that this rivalry is far from over. He knows what Rocco Adrian will bring to the table. They got to keep the foot to the gas. As Houston, a little low line drive rugby-style punt. An advantageous Warrior bounce will be fielded by number 3, Trenton Vogel. And that's where the Bengals will take over. Yeah, make no bones about it. Lucy Beckham wants a shutout. Like, you best believe they want a shutout. They want to. I was actually speaking with one of their assistant coaches, Tariq Ravenel, before the game, and he was like, yes, we absolutely want to send a message that we are the team here in Mount Pleasant. See the great camera work as you see Christian Hart in the red hat. Hart, he led the Warriors to an unbelievable season. Such a talented group to win a region championship. Made a nice run in the playoffs. And now imparting that wisdom onto the young stud, Chalmers Ballard. Calm, cool, and collected. Delivers a nice little 8-yard out to Mason Hombres. Again, just a perfectly called game by Christian Hart. I believe that's the first time tonight that they've actually thrown the football on first downs. Usually it's a run, so doing a great job of mixing it up. And I've been very impressed with, again, putting his quarterback in a situation to have success. He's not making him read over defense. Is it cover 2, cover 1? Just make the simple throws, and he's been able to accomplish that all night. It was a throw downfield. He had his vision set on Trevor Reynolds. They were looking for a DPI in that backfield, and they're going to find one. A deep ball from Ballard to Reynolds, and it looks like it's going to result in a defensive pass interference. Speaking of fine, looked like Steve Brush, the back judge, had a little difficult time finding his flag to throw that, but, yeah, no doubt there. I was going to say, it's just week 1. Sometimes get the hand in the pocket and be able to pull it out. Which is always so confusing because it's week 1, but this is week 2 for us because week 0, we talked about that last week as well. I was going to say, I'm really proud of my public school education, week 0 to week 1. I feel good about it, though. Yeah, as we all should. As we all should. But if you're a Wando Warrior fan right now, not a lot to be happy about here tonight, at least here in the first half. Pass interference will lead to a West Shore home first down. America's most admired home remodeling brand. No need to remodel this offense right now. Nice little 3-yard gain on the outside. Ooh, you can see a little pitching and shoving. Oh, Steven Seeger's after the play, a little upset with maybe some extracurriculars, and he's definitely going to get flagged.
That's a situation where you have to tell your players, okay, guys, settle down. Again, play with emotion, but you have to keep it in check. You have to be disciplined. Coach Smith talked about it all week. Effort, tough all around, discipline, roll call to the football. That's what his defense is doing. Everybody getting to the football. So, again, that's one of those situations. No need for the extracurricular activities. If the opponent is talking, simple thing to do is just point to the scoreboard.
And, Everett, I know you're going to love this. I saw right at the end of the play, how about your junior quarterback grabbing the senior running back, grabbing by the shoulder pads and going, hey, man, we don't need that. Exactly. Obviously looking to play to a certain standard. Chalmers, Ballard might be growing up in front of our eyes tonight.
Because you might be in control in this game, but there'll be a game later in the season where you will need, obviously, to have your head on straight.
Well, Ballard unfazed. How about the dump off to number 6, Robert Myers? How about the 3 running backs we've seen tonight? Myers, Seeger, Byrd. They're all making a huge impact.
Seems like Noah had 2 of everything on the arc. Well, Beckham's got 3 of everything. I mean, 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers. Obviously, you got 5 big offensive linemen up there doing a great job. But, again, a simple throw, just a swing pass out the backfield that results in a big play.
Oh, and they find Rothwell right up the middle of the seam. And a big hit out of the secondary. I'm not sure who was first on the hit. It looks like it was number 36, Christian Tomei. But a big hit on Rothwell to jar it loose.
Now, that's one that you have to zip in there. You don't want to put too much air under that one and kind of leave your tight end open for a big hit. So in that situation, you want to throw that one on the rope, get it in there, and he's probably still running into the end zone right now.
I think that's probably a learning curve, too, to see that free safety coming over from the backside. You almost want Rothwell to sit down or just keep staying straight up the middle of the seam.
That's when you have to have a jack fastball on that one to get it right there in the seam route.
Well, it's Ballard. He's looking for a fastball off the foot. He does it all, folks. Nice putt. Looking for the corner of Coffin. That'll go out at around the 16. And that's where the young sophomore, Harris Stone, and the Warriors will take over.
So you have 2 minutes and 49 seconds left here in the first half. Nothing has gone Wando's way offensively tonight. But a lot can change if you can, again, just get something, some momentum going into the locker room, feeling good about yourself, something that you can build off of going into the half. Of course, once you get into the locker room, you're going to have to make those adjustments offensively, defensively, because, well, what you thought would work did not work in that first half. So let's see the approach here that the Wando Warriors take. Are they going to try and get that momentum or basically play it safe and just try to get into the locker room here at the half and regroup?
I'm going to say you saw before the Warriors took the field, it was uber talented former Warrior Tyler Skasky, the offensive coordinator for the Warriors, just looking to calm this group down. As Stone will come out, will escape the pocket, and deflect it on the outside. What a play. Tyler Kinlaw.
He felt the pressure coming, tried to escape, and then at the last minute tried to dump it off to no avail. So it'll be second down, and honestly, that's kind of what you really don't want is the clock to stop, because the last thing you want to do is give this football back to Lucy Beckham here in the first half.
Stone looking to run it. Last second, nice play by Kinlaw, head on a swivel.
Just get that hand up, like I said, just tip it. Don't allow the completion to be made.
2:43 here in the second quarter. ABC forwards Jack DeLongshall sitting alongside Everett German. Lucy Beckham with a commanding, to say the least, lead. As you see, that's a defense meeting the football with a bad attitude.
I mean, just the size. I'm very impressed. Jaden Moore, 6'2", 240 senior with the rest of his teammates. It's almost like the Wando offense is like steak, like just little meat, and the Bengals, the Tigers are like, who's going to get to it first? Many hats at the ball. Nobody making a individual isolated tackle, team defense. Great pursuit. Right now, Wando just has nothing. They can't even get into rhythm here, and once again facing another crucial third down.
See, it looked like Stone did a great job of playing with the cadence and getting a Bengal to jump off sides. What was once 3rd and 11. The Warriors now looking at around a 3rd and 6. Can they convert on the Warrior on the Bengal miscue. Pick up a first down here. The importance can't be signified enough. Just points for the Warriors to take some kind of momentum into the locker room.
Yeah, and like we've said several times, it just takes that one play. But right now, obviously the Wando offense and defense, not proud of what they've done here tonight. There is another half of football, but right now, again, just get something going offensively to kind of take the heat off of your defense.
The Warriors are looking for number 8, Cole Fletcher. They move the entire offense out to that right side, use a little play fake, but to no avail outside of the outreach arms of Cole Fletcher. And again, this Bengal defense truly just exhausting right now.
And that pressure being applied once again. Applying the pressure. Thanks, April. Appel, I should say.
Yeah, I was going to say Appel along with Henry Goldsmith out in coverage. Hank Apley alongside of Barron catching two really nice baseball players here, but proving quite their value on the gridiron. This is a booming kick. Well, we've seen a lot of Jake Houston out there tonight. That was an absolute bomb off the foot of the right footer.
Yeah, but that's one that I think is Charles Byrd. Is that Byrd that was back there, or was that?
I believe it was Ombre.
Okay, yeah. Ombre. That was a high bounce. There's really no pressure. You got to pick that ball up. He could have probably at least picked up 10 or 15 yards because there were no Warriors in sight.
Well, they say practice makes perfect. That was without a doubt, without question, the best boot of the night from Jake Houston, able to flip the field with just 1:13 left.
Standing room only. Friday night rivals. Jack, our first time on Channel 4. I'd much rather be on Channel 4 this way than like on a police blotter or some type of crime with Tessa Spencer reporting on me. So I'll take this for sure.
I was going to say, let me team up with Chalmers Ballard because I'm telling you, this young man throwing it around. The opportunity to play on ABC4. He is showing out in a big way. Big-time dart as he finds number 16, Henry Brosi. Again, he's good enough for another first down. Brought to you by West Shore Home. You can see Charles Byrd running with authority. A quick little screen on the outside. Byrd takes it for about 12.
Wando's very lucky to not get a late hit there. I mean, he was well out of bounds before being tackled. But, yeah, I'm very impressed with, obviously, Charles Byrd. You talked about it, coming off that injury. You can tell he still doesn't have that speed that he probably had last year, but just the fact that he's out there and his size and his strength. Sometimes you don't have to be fast. You just got to know where you're going and get there.
Ballard put him in a great position to get there. He evades one tackle, unable to avoid the second. You can see back in the backfield, that was Cordy Deese Jr. Not sure if he'll be registered with a sack. Excuse me, that was number 73 for the Warriors. Trenton Moore. Not sure if he'll be charged with the sack or if it'll be number 46 for the Warriors, Braden Berry.
But you best believe that here, Christian Hart, he's trying to at least be able to get into field goal range to kick a field goal here going into the locker room. So, again, a big 2nd and 10 coming up. But, you look at it right now, the ball at the 43-yard line. The way they've been throwing the ball tonight, Jack, I mean, I'd throw a seam route. I try to find a big tight end again.
And don't you love that they're not coaching like this is obviously a 29-0 game. We kept asking Coach Smith during our interview earlier this week, hey, how important is this rivalry? And he kept saying it's huge for the community. But we're just really grateful for the opportunity to get better this week.
And that's the thing. Always be improving. We always talk about it, Jack. Don't play the scoreboard. Play the actual game. As you saw the stats there, a solid night. 10 of 12 for 114.
You see Ballard 10 of 12, now be 10 of 13 as he and Ombre kind of maybe a little miscommunication on the route on the outside. Ballard, I've been really impressed with his ability not only to complete at a really high efficiency rate, but how about to the inventive non-receivers as well, too. You've seen Ombre, you've seen Byrd, a whole lot of Bryce Rothwell, a little Trevor Reynolds, obviously Henry Brosi with the touchdown. His ability to deliver the football all across the field to a lot of different guys. Defenses can't hone in on one dude.
And he'll look at this tape and say, gosh, if I just left that one short, let my guy come back to the ball, that could have been a big play for the Bengals.
Let me tell you something right quick. Oh, how about the boom? Charles Byrd laying the absolute hit was number 28, Seth Gittens, in great coverage, a nice tackle on the outside. But Charles Charles Byrd laying the boom.
Laying the boom. When you knock your opponent's helmet off, you are getting it done. And again, you're the DB, so you're supposed to be initiating the hit, not allowing. But wow, what a run. But unfortunately, looks like a penalty flag against the Bengals.
I'm curious. No way they say that Byrd lowered the helmet.
No, because it would have been from the end.
I was going to say, so it looks like it was behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, someone moved.
Yeah, but it may have been a hold because we're now looking at what's going to be about 3rd and 19, about 3rd and 20 for Ballard, the Bengals.
Well, he did give the signal for illegal procedure, so maybe it's from the old spot.
I'm not sure, but regardless, it looks like the Bengals. Look how angry. Look at Robert Myers. He was initially hit after about 4 yards, but he gains about 8 after it. Huge run by Myers.
This was set up for just almost as we have another timeout. Looks like we have an injured Warrior on the field.
Looks like that's number 44, Alex Handlin, the senior. We don't want to allude and speculate to the injury. We can only send good vibes and good message down that hopefully he's healthy.
It was good seeing Mark Bookman earlier as we talk about trainers. He was the trainer at Wando for a long time and now the athletic director for Wando, so it was good to see him.
So you mentioned athletic director. Now might be the perfect time as you see this beautiful stadium here in Mount Pleasant packed out. The Bengals wearing all white, the Warriors in all black. But here at Robert Hayes Field, obviously a really close relationship for you and I both, Everett, to the late, great Bob Hayes, what he was able to do to this program. Revolutionary in the sense that Wando will forever be changed, the way that they approach each night, night in and night out.
And I think it just says a lot. I mean, you see the logo in the middle of the field, Robert Hayes Field. I had a great relationship with Coach Hayes. Actually, I was the voice of Wando football for a while and always treated me nice and just really cared about the student athletes. And was the head coach. Then he went on to be the defense coordinator and then special teams coach. But, yeah, unfortunately, we lost Coach Hayes a couple of years ago, his bout with cancer. But there's no doubt in my mind that he's looking down right now and obviously not pleased with the score, but he's pleased to see this crowd, the community coming together, Friday Night Rivals on a field named after him.
And this is where the story just gets, even more beautiful, right? The beauty in sports, but more so the impact felt in the community. Coach Hayes was a assistant coach at Stratford High School under the great Ray Stackley. And at the time, an assistant principal, who then got the principal job at Wando High School, was Mrs. Lucy Beckham. And Miss Beckham, her first.
Good to see
Hamlin getting back to his feet, as you can see the stadium rising to its feet. But Mrs. Beckham, her first action as principal at Wando was to name new head coach Bob Hayes.
Correct.
And now you can see Lucy Beckham playing against Wando.
And you talk about a lady that was just the absolute best. Another one had a great relationship with Lucy, principal here at Wando, and I think it says a lot when you're the principal at the largest high school in the state. The other school they named after you, and much like Coach Hayes, we lost her as well way too soon. But I know for a fact she is smiling down because both of her teams are on the field tonight.
Legacy, impact, impression, so fast with Mrs. Beckham and Coach Hayes. As we get ready to take this thing to halftime, well, Mrs. Beckham is going to be really proud of her boys as they take a commanding 29-0 lead into halftime. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet. Jack DeLongchamp sitting alongside Everett German. I'm going to be lucky enough to be able to send it down to Trooper Bob. It's Trooper Bob. He's going to have Coach Jamel Smith to hear about what all went right for the Bengals. Trooper Bob, take it away.
I got you guys. Coach, 29-0 halftime. How happy are you with your team's performance?
It's not over yet, but very, very, just pleased with them in the first half. And this was what we worked for. We pushed them hard in practice all week, but the main thing is we're going to finish. We're going to finish. And when I get into this locker room right now, I'm going to hammer it home. We finish football games. And, and we'll see what happens.
What would you like to see more of in the second half?
Just continue relentless effort. Relentless effort on defense, relentless effort on offense, and then being able to let our other guys play. I want our other guys to play. Everybody eats. With Lucy Beckham football, everybody eats. And those guys know that. They play well. The second group will come in. Everybody eats at Lucy Beckham. So.
All right, Coach, congratulations for the first half. We'll see you in the second half.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. Hey, guys, I want to tell you one quick thing. If the cameraman can pan around here, I want to tell you, I spoke to law enforcement in the second half. Everyone you see outside the gate cannot get in. They actually closed the gates right there at the beginning of the second half because this place is maxed out. So anyone that came to the stadium right there at the second half, they have to watch the game from outside the fence. And this thing wraps around half of the field. I'll send it back to you guys.
It's a sold-out crowd, Trooper Bob.
Because they heard you and I were in the building. So we'll be out. Just wait, folks, after the half.
A sold-out crowd here from Robert Hayes Field. If you showed up wearing white with the Beckham Bengals, you're going to be exhilarated because it's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals driven by Crew Chevrolet. And that first half was driven all by the Bengals.
Welcome to the Doctor's Implants Halftime Report.
Each week, the Thumb Up guys are proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The student selected will have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Tonight's scholar athletes are, for first, the Wando Warriors, Chris Antonelli. Chris, as you can see, boasting a 4.612 GPA, a varsity member of the Wando basketball team, a member of the AP Academy, the National Society of High School Scholars, and an AAU basketball player as well. His senior year, he's also become a member as the Warrior Ambassador Club, the Lighthouse Ambassador, and he's working at Rita's to pay for bills to get ready for his college education as well. Shout out and kudos to you, Chris. And for the Lucy Beckham Bengals, it's Charlotte Little. Charlotte with a 5.075 GPA and a varsity member of the soccer team, a goalie, as you can tell by the mitts. Charlotte, 2023 Region 7 4A first-team all-region member, as well as an all-state member in the community. Charlotte's a member of the NHS Club, Key Club, Beta Club, and also a part of the Bengal Buddies program. She also volunteered at soccer camps, helps clean stadiums after football games, reads at local elementary schools, and interns at a local law firm downtown, and also helps with Isle Palms beach cleanups. As you can see, two incredible student athletes, and obviously the thumbs up guys. I'll speak to it more.
Welcome back. We are talking Scholar Athlete now here with the Friday Night Rival Scholar Athlete sponsor, Brandon Dawson from the Thumbs Up guys, and always giving thumbs up on Friday nights. We have a lot of great talent on the field athletically, but academically as well, and it's got to be nice to look at both sides of those for the scholarship.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, again, we know how hard these kids are working on the field. We're able to see this every Friday night, but also to see these GPAs. I mean, some of these things I didn't even know you could go that high. Certainly not that I ever saw.
You were a skeeza-pleeza back in the day playing a little Porter Dowd football. What were those memories like for you?
Oh, man, there's nothing better than some of those, memories. I got to write up in the paper in the BE game, which is our big rival, had a one-handed interception,
Nice.
and it was a real big moment. Got that, article still framed at the house. And I think we were the last team at Porter to win state in 2002. So, Ricky Tillman can text me if I'm wrong, but we'd like to see the Cyclones bring it back this year.
Beautiful. Sounds good. That's Brendan Dawson from the Thumbs Up guys presenting this year's Scholar Athlete on Friday Night Rivals.
It's like when you watch him play, it's like all the way to him. And he's going to be the next Wando. How much time? We welcome you back into Robert Hayes Field here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Everett, the Lucy Beckham Bengals 29, and the Wando Warriors 0. Domination from start to finish.
Yep. Offense, defense, special teams, all categories in the trenches. Lucy Beckham had their way in the first half with Wando. The question is, can Wando make adjustments to make this a respectable ball game here in the second half?
The second volume of this rivalry. Well, maybe the first edition of what could be a cheer rivalry. Okay. Fans, we're giving you an opportunity to vote for tonight's Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game. Go log on to abcnews4.com/poll and vote for either tonight's cheer squad. We've got Wando, we've got Lucy Beckham. Cast a vote for the Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game. We'll show you the results later tonight in the show. It's a rivalry. We got to compete in everything, so let's see who we got first.
You're ready.
W-A-N-D-O, ready? W-A-N-D-O, that's the way we spell Wando, Wando. Hey, hey, Wando, go Wando. W-A-N-D-O, that's the way we spell Wando, Wando. Hey, hey, Wando, go Wando. W-A-N-D-O, that's the way we spell Wando, Wando. Hey, hey, Wando, go Wando. W-A-N-D-O.
I'm not sure who's going to vote. Everybody's here, either in the stands for Wando or Lucy Beckham or outside. But solid job by both chair leaders. And again, go and vote. Let's vote for the team from Mount Pleasant.
I was gonna say, look how many fans were there before the game. It was like 6 o'clock when they filmed that, and the students actually already filled up.
And more impressively, how many cheerleaders? Like, they can almost form their own football team, both spots, about 30 deep. But, of course, we know those young ladies, they work hard as well. So go and vote for your favorite slide.
So their Powder Puff season is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
But before, don't go anywhere. We've got a really incredible package filmed up, and I know a dear friend of yours.
Yeah, Steve Leggett, who used to be the softball coach at Wando. Now he's an assistant principal. But he's doing something a little different right now. He would love to be here at Bob Hayes Field watching this game in person, but let's just say he's not in Mount Pleasant. Scott Eisberg caught up with him earlier. Let's take a look.
Good evening, I'm Scott Eisberg. It's easy to say prep football a respite, an escape for a few hours. I found out the lengths of truth in that statement. It started as an innocuous weekend morning text. Hey, it's Leggett. Wanted to say it was good to watch Friday football news online. Little feeling of home. Keep up the good work.
And then we get together Saturday morning, everybody talk about what their high school team did. And, of course, this week I got to walk around and say, well, Wando didn't lose.
Sounds like a conversation you'd hear at any small-town Waffle House or coffee shop. Sure, I was appreciative, but man, it hit me when I realized that conversation, that text message, coming from Djibouti, Africa.
I left in 2008. You couldn't hardly get in touch with home now. We can call every day. Internet, we have internet in our rooms, things that we didn't have.
This year, Wando assistant principal Steve Leggett isn't coaching on the sidelines or working crowd control. He's not taking tickets or parking buses. His service is of a higher order. A 30-year National Guardsman deployed on the African coast, somewhere between Somalia and Sudan.
2-star general, it's really nice, but he's like, every day is a Tuesday here. And I was like, well, not anymore, because now we have Fridays, and then we're going to, next week we have to start having Saturdays. And South Carolina National Guard, so they're from all over. So, I'm the Charleston guy, Wando guy, and everybody's trying to get their high school game and wake up at 2 in the morning and watch it, and whatever streaming services that we have.
It just means more in the South. This Friday, it means the most in the East. East of the Cooper River, that is. Beckham and Wando battle for supremacy on their side of the Isle of Palms connector.
Got the phone with Coach Bookman, and I was like, and it's a more learning curve for us this year because we're their away team on our own campus. I texted Rocco, good luck this week. Let him know that I'm pulling for him.
And the broadcast beamed via broadband, well beyond Walterboro or Williamsburg County, and that truly makes the world a whole lot smaller.
That's one thing I do miss is Friday nights, being out on the field, being part of athletics. Majority of us won't be up at 2 in the morning watching anything, so the internet should be working, and we'll go from there.
Don't know much about Djibouti. Do know the mess hall will be a whole lot happier on Saturday with a Warriors win.
It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet. Welcome back to Robert Hayes Field. It's the Lucy Beckham Bengals, 29, Wando, nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's trophy and the Scholar Athlete plaques at the end of the season are provided by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1993. Everett, a lot of excellence on that Bengals sideline tonight.
Yeah, Bengals are getting it done offensively, defensively. Really not much you can say. I mean, they've done what they've wanted to do. They've executed the plan to a T.
Well, the Bengals, they're just one half away from collecting that All-American Awards trophy. And let's see if the Warriors, when we come back from break, have anything to say about it.
They're saying it's crazy that there's like a man.
Welcome back into Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Is at Robert Hayes Field. It's Preferred Home Services. Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet. Jack DeLongchamp sitting alongside the legend, Everett German. Well, lopsided would be an understatement.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the stats. A lot in favor of Lucy Beckham, not as much for Wando.
Big-time kickoff from Graham Thomas. It's Kai Correa wrapped up at around the 20. But what really jumps out for me, why was it so dominant for the Bengals?
I think just the lack of offense from Wando. As you can see, only one first down in terms of passing yards, 44 yards. Well, 43 of those came on one play. So to be able to only get 42 yards in the first half while Lucy Beckham rolling up 319, running the football, passing, that's balance right there. Run for 160, throw for 151. You couldn't ask for more if you're Coach Smith and Lucy Beckham.
Hey, Everett, too. How much do you credit to the tempo? And really, they got back up to the line of scrimmage, the knowledge of the offense of Chalmers Ballard here in year two. How much do you credit to that tempo?
Well, and when you think of the fact that obviously Wando and Lucy Beckham have a lot of guys going both ways, you want to try and wear them down. And so when you see them, hands on the hips and things of that nature, that usually is an indication that, yeah, they're starting to, obviously lose that win. So, again, just a perfect execution as we see a new quarterback in for the Wando Warriors here. Actually, I'm sorry, that's still Zach Ossoff on for the Warriors.
So we saw Harris Stone there late in the second quarter. They go back to the starter, the senior Ossoff, and it's a nice kick to the outside from Reggie Grant. Grant was our player to watch before the game. Nice, looked like he's got about a 3-yard pickup to the outside for Grant. Everett on the other sideline. Down 29 can seem insurmountable for the Warriors. Just take it play at a time, or what do they need to do to get back in this ballgame?
Well, offensively, they got to score here on this opening drive. And then as your defense comes on, you're going to have to hopefully rely on them to force a turnover or two. You got to get multiple possessions here in the second half. You know that Lucy Beckham can and will run the football. Obviously, they're going to try and shorten the game. So Wando, first things first, got to capitalize and score here.
Ostoff joining the backfield with Reggie Grant. They go back to Grant on 3rd and 7. And he's met by that Bengal defensive front with no answer on another 3rd long.
And time is not on the side of this Wando offense. So just running. It's probably not going to get it unless they can pick up first down. So as you can see right now, a lot of frustration on that Wando side. Nothing working well for the Warriors tonight.
Everett, we talked about this, really the first ball game since that jamboree for the Warriors. And despite what the scoreboard might say moving forward, you lose the ball game. How do you look? How do you respond in the second half playing against a big rival? You want to see these guys really with a high tempo. As just the night gets a little bit worse for the Warriors. The Bengals have done it on offense. They've done it on defense. And now the special team. The muffed punt from Jake Houston. And I believe that's number 9 for the Bengals, Tayshawn Richardson, the sophomore, coming up with the football.
Yeah, just a bad snap. Kind of goes over. I thought he was going to be able to retrieve it, but couldn't quite get it. And give credit to the Bengals as the Bengals come up with the turnover. Wando's the one that needed the turnover, but the Bengals actually get the turnover, and they're already in scoring range.
I was going to say, you see Coach Smith fired up for Tayshawn Richardson. And in the meantime, the Bengals, they are making themselves quite comfortable. It's Steven Seeger, the Trident Technical touchdown. Your future, your college. They waste no time taking advantage of the Warrior miscue.
Just hat on hat, nothing fancy. And right now they are just simply blowing Wando really off the field. You see that pancake block there. Not a lot of effort, not a lot of resistance from this Warrior defense.
There's a great push on the right side from Anderson Ducker, the senior right guard, and Eli McInnes, as this PAT is going to go split the uprights again. Boy, Graham Thomas has been really impressive. But it was your main man, Bryce Rothwell, an emphatic pancake, as the Bengals, they waste no time picking up where they left off. How about that score? 36-0 Bengals as we head to break. It's Preferred Home Services, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Well, it's Preferred Home Services. Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Jack DeLongshaw sitting alongside Everett German. I don't want to speak too early. A lot of football left to be played, Everett, but kind of feeling like the route is on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a 36-0 lead for Beckham. And if you're Rocco Adrian right now, you just have to challenge your teams. Unless something really crazy happens, you're not going to win this game. But you need to play as if this was a one-possession game. Work to get better. Find some positives that you can put on film so that way in film study you can build off of something. So, yeah, even if you don't win the game, you can still finish the game. Challenge yourself to not lay down, not get blown out, not to get shut out, and just have a little bit of pride in yourself. Continue to fight for your team, for your school. And right now, I've not seen it thus far here for Wando.
I was going to say, too, so many people have asked us going into this one, you're a Warrior alum. I'm a Wando alum. My little brother graduated from Lucy Beckham. I've got dear, dear friends on both sidelines. We were torn down the middle. This and the second half, you said it perfectly. It's all about pride.
Yeah.
It's pride in the jersey you're wearing, that the name on the front means more than the back. We're going to find out a lot about these Warriors despite what the scoreboard says here in the second half.
And honestly, this second half could really set the tone for Wando going forward, whether it be you know what, you can look back on it in October, November. You can remember where you came from since the Lucy Beckham game, or it could be the sign that, hey, you know what, it just never was on the tracks, and unfortunately, continued to just get worse. So, again, don't worry about playing the scoreboard. Just continue to play football. Try to execute your blocks, your runs, your reads, your defensive assignments.
You can see Zachary Osthoff picking up about a gain of 3 yards. It was Perrin Ketchen and Henry Goldsmith there to contain the edge. Man, that secondary's been so much fun to watch. When we talk about pride in the defense, I really almost, you can feel it in this stadium. This ball club truly takes on the embodiment of its head coach in Jamel Smith.
He was so fiery. We commented when we had the interview with him earlier this week. He makes you want to put on the pads and, kind of play football. He was just so passionate. You could tell the love he has for his team and his kids. And, they have goals, and I talked about it. They don't want to give up 100 yards rushing. They don't want to give up 125 yards, passing. So right now, for them, that's what they're trying to attain, is a shutout and to obtain those goals.
How about in the backfield? Go grab that championship belt. It looks like it's number 8, the senior Jackson Allison. Allison, a senior, standing about 5'11", 180 pounds. The wiry free safety tracks down that interception to the backfield. And again, this Bengal defense, relentless.
Yeah, it looked like, I couldn't tell that was Jaquan Evans or maybe even Jaden Moore, but he applied the pressure, which forced him out of the pocket. He tried to throw on the run, never really got his feet set. Threw it up, an interception, the second of the night for the Bengals. And there's that championship belt, Jack.
I was going to say, Ryan Thurber, he's an unbelievable videographer. He does a great job of documenting this Bengal run. And we talked, you said the lunch pail. Coach Smith had it sitting on his desk when we interviewed him this week. Well, he also showed us the championship belt. Something for the kids to remind themselves, hey, man, it's about having fun. And Allison, he gets the belt after the turnover.
And it started back in college. And the U at Miami, they had the big chains. And now everybody kind of has that championship belt. And you best believe it gives you that motivation, that inspiration to be able to tote the championship belt around.
Ooh, a really nice play by Max Roton, the senior outside linebacker and free safety. Did a great job. They knew that he wanted to go to Rothwell. Ballard never saw him, and a really nice play by Roton on the outside. He almost gets a pick of his own.
And that's a film study play. He saw the screen coming up. He didn't over-pursue, kind of laid back. Great job defensively by Roden.
See Christian Hart still in the year of his uber-talented junior quarterback, Ballard. Ballard 3rd and long. He's going to step up in the pocket and get to the outside. He's commanding his boys. Look at him. He breaks 1 tackle. He breaks 2. Look at Ballard. It's a 36-0 game. You can hear my voice elevating, but how could it not? He's shown you with the arm, but the athlete, he beats him to the corner, and he picks up that big first down, which is brought to you by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician. Chalmers Ballard looks like he's playing a video game right now.
Well, just the old scramble, Joe. And you talk about the effort there, that kind of one-arm kind of wave at the that's the effort that, Coach Adrian can show on film and say, guys, this is not Wando football. You have to lay it all on the line, and a good job of the receivers blocking down the field to allow the first down run.
Evan, let me ask you this, too. Last week we had Samari Bonds, who won a state championship for Beaufort in his sophomore year, and kind of his progression into his junior year. When we come back from break, I'd really love for you to elaborate to the fans at home, because what we're watching Chalmers Ballard do right now, next level. But right now, it's 8:39 left in the third quarter. Lucy Beckham leads 36-0. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. welcome you back in. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet. It's the Beckham Bengals, 36. The Wando Warriors, just 0. As we take a look in, it's the junior quarterback, Chalmers Ballard. I needed to ask the progression from year 1 to year 2. Everett, what's been the biggest thing that's jumped out at you?
I think he knows how to extend plays. You know, when you're kind of a rookie, you don't really kind of have command of that offense. You're a little jittery. You know, things don't seem to come naturally. But now you can tell in his second year of leading this, he knows when to tuck it, when to run, when to give up on the play, and how to just get to the next play, not put the ball in harm's way by, throwing an interception. So very impressed with him tonight in his decision-making and also his athleticism for the Bengal offense.
See Ballard dig it on a 2nd and 8 to make it about a 2nd and 6 as you see Charles Byrd lunging forward. We told you our lines drawn in the sand, our relationships to both sidelines. I know Ballard. I know his family. Comes from an incredible household, 2 incredible younger brothers, a mom and dad that have raised him the right way. Coach Smith had kind of mentioned to us this week, it's his maturity. He's found his voice. You saw him, that leadership really standing out when he grabbed Steven Seegers. And truly, the game's slowing down for Ballard. He is truly making himself a name as one of the best quarterbacks in the state of South Carolina.
Great pursuit by Wando on that particular play. A nice stop there by Connor Neal. Of course, Connor got hurt early. Good to see him back on the field and making plays. So that's the type of effort and desire that you like to see from your team. Yes, you're down, 36-0, but you're still playing. You're still competing. What happens here, the rest of this game, could really make or break the season for Wando.
I was going to say, it was really the first time we've heard that legendary Wando chop house rising to its feet. It's a huge hit from the backside to that pursuit to force that Beckham turnover, which we haven't seen a ton of tonight.
Corey D is also the big guy for the Wando Warriors, the senior, 6'3", 303. I've been very impressed with him tonight as well. His moves, to be that big of a young man and to have just solid footwork. You see him leaving the field right now, the big guy. He's playing offense, defense, but he's giving it his all on every single play.
But D's 300 pounds, he moves like he's 200, right?
Yeah.
Light feet work, and that's another guy too. Kai Correa in a game that's kind of gotten out of hand. It feels like every time Correa's got the ball in his hands, a really athletic kid able to bust it outside, and a nice catch there at the 15 where the Warriors will take over. See which quarterback it will be. It looks like each guy going to get an opportunity in this one this time. The sophomore, said at 6'3", 200 pounds. Here's Stone.
You also want, competition within your team. Guys who started this week may not necessarily start next week. That's why it's so important to make sure that you give it your all now, because tomorrow morning when the coaching staff, when they get in that locker room or in their offices and they watch this tape, they're going to want to just find 11, preferably 22 guys that want to play football.
Everett, you coached for a long time. I got to ask you, is this one of those ball games? Do you utilize this tape, or do you tomorrow morning you just throw it in the dumpster? You don't burn it and move on?
Absolutely not. The eye in the sky does not lie, because it's how you use the tape. You don't want to belittle people and beat them up. They know that they lost. They know they didn't play their best. But, we call them teachable moments in situations where, hey, this is what we did. And then you ask the kid, hey, what should you have done? And as long as they know what they should have done, you're halfway there. Next time you just have to make the play. So, yeah, it happened. You don't need to run from it, but it's only a mistake or a bad game if you don't learn from your mistake.
I told you all the turnover on the defensive side of the ball. They lost 8 starters last year. They were captained by Mikey Rosa, who's now playing at the Citadel, so that's a big guy to lose. But I expect, on my side, a guy like Jamison Bell and Brock Feinberg, a couple of guys that have been around the program for a while, for them to respond in a big way. But tonight, how could you not be Coach Ransom? He works on the defensive side of the ball, also a basketball coach, head coach Andrew Glover, alongside head coach Jamel Smith.
And the one thing I love about this Beckham staff is there's a bunch of young guys, guys that can relate, but they have the kids' respect. But they can relate to them. They probably know the music that they listen to, and those guys, they just love playing. And you can tell right now on a night like tonight against your rival, Beckham's just having a lot of fun on the football field.
Having a lot of fun. Talk about a guy that loves to have a lot of fun. That's Drake Bull, the defensive captain for this group. He's going to get his first sack of the night. Bull, who's been invited to a lot of different, invited to the Shrine Bowl Combine workout. A really strong kid. I saw him Twitter, maxed out on squat at around 485 pounds. Everett, I make it very clear. I think 485 would absolutely break my legs in half.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Jack, you and I don't have the same problem where apparently you can't gain weight, and sometimes, well, a lot of times, I can't lose weight. So, yeah, I would not know about, those situations. But, yeah, that guy, he is definitely a gym warrior in terms of being able to excel in the weight room.
What another gym warrior. That's Kinlock, Jaden Moore in the backfield. Jaden Moore has been in that backfield all night. I'm telling you right now, 4A opponents on this Bengals schedule, you got to be really careful of the likes of Jaden Moore and Drake Bull, who's been a bull in a china shop.
And what you really like is not only these guys big in terms of physical size, but their speed, athlete. Look at this pursuit. I mean, obviously in this situation, if you're Wando, you don't want to have a holding penalty in the end zone because it would result in a safety. But just the pursuit of that front four, those guys come in there hungry. Everybody wants to be recognized. That's the type of attitude that Coach Smith loves from his Bengal defense.
Oh, you see that special teams unit finds its way in the backfield. End over punt that'll roll out to about the 46-yard line. Wando corral it, and Chalmers Ballard and that offense will get things going. But, folks, when we finish up, because I know you're still listening to us out there, it might be a route, but this has been as good as it gets. After the game, make sure to switch over to News 4 and get complete highlights from all the action around the Low Country with News 4's sports director extraordinaire, Scott Eisberg, and Webb Wright. Friday Night Rivals on News 4. It starts at 11:05. Go tune in for the best of the business.
Absolutely. I mean, they do such a great job of trying to catch all the games. And if they can't get footage, they have people, get send the footage to them. And they have them recorded on their phones. So Scott Eisberg and Webb, definitely the place to be on Friday night to capture all of the Friday night action in the Low Country.
Don't call him Scotty Ice for nothing. See Ballard, a little bit of low snap. Talk about the pursuit after that first hit. Come on, Steven Seeger. He's getting the shot to be the starting running back here for the Bengals. And he is making sure everybody here at Bob Hayes Field remembers his name.
And it's all about making the most of your opportunities. So when you're in a battle for that, everybody wants to be RB1. You want to be the first guy out there on the field. Seegers is running as if he is trying to definitely put a lock hold on that running back position.
A quick little out route, and the timing impeccable between Ballard and Hombres. His Steegers, he's now at about 14 carries for about 88 yards. Charles Byrd, 5 carries for 79 yards. We've seen Robert Myers diving into the end zone. He talked about he's been a running back by committee tonight.
Well, and it's tough yards. It's yards after contact. Those guys aren't going down at the first initial contact, or sometimes they just outrun people. So you see a tough run there by the Bengals.
That's a big hit on the outside from number 28, Seth Gittens. Seeger with a 9-yard pickup. He's getting really close to eclipsing that 100-yard marker, but not before Gittens. What a hit on the outside. The junior standing about 5'10", 170 pounds. You'd always force on that big hit.
But back to my, thought is I've just been impressed with just how tough these guys are. I mean, they are not going to go down with one arm. You're going to have to absolutely get them on the ground as the physical run continues.
Come on. He's making you sound like a genius upstairs, Everett. How about number 6, Robert Myers, his second touchdown of the night, brought to you by Trident College. Your future, your college. Everett, running back committee. I'm telling you, spoken into existence. These guys have been unbelievable.
I think as Oprah Winfrey used to say, you get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown, and you get 100 yards, and you get 100 yards. I mean, when you have that type of rotation where you can just basically, now it's my turn, I eat, you eat, we eat, everybody eats. That's what's happening right now with this Lucy Beckham ground game. Another solid performance back-to-back for the Bengals.
Let's see. A really nice PAT from Graham Thomas. You see it skied over our TEC equipment rental. The friendliest name in equipment rental. They're donating their scissor lifts for every single game this year. I got to give a huge shout out to our camera guys up there. I mean, they sit up there all game, dodging, obviously Graham Thomas, extra points. There have been a lot of them tonight.
Yeah, and it's kind of lonely up there. It's kind of dark. I can't even really see the scissor lip out there, but obviously providing these outstanding shots as you can see here. But, yeah, special thank you to those guys at TEC Equipment Rental. And because without them, we would not have these scissor lifts and would not be able to get these end zone shots that we have been privy to tonight and last week and, like you said, all season long.
Well, 43-0 with just 3:14 in the third quarter. Here's a nice little shot.
He's high up there.
Come on. Give a little shout out to our guy up there, man. That's a Deadliest Jobs. Remember that old TV show on Discovery? There you go. Let's go.
The old Derek Jeter tip of the cap.
We salute you, good sir. It's Grant Thomas on for the kickoff.
Yeah, not a lot to be excited about or cheer if you're a Wando Warrior. I think, especially after last year's contest, where Beckham won 8-6, it was a defensive struggle. To see the offense of Lucy Beckham do this year, I don't really think anybody expected this.
I didn't see it coming. And I know that the entire town of Mount Pleasant Hills ball game is so important for the community. To be able to sell this game out, incredible. If I'm a Wando Warrior, though, my spotlight's on this guy right here. That's Kai Correa. And every time he touches the ball, you want to talk about running downhill, running with that little enthusiasm that we've seen a lot out of those Bengal running backs. He's brought that energy and juice tonight.
Well, and that's that situation where you want to get him in space so he can make plays, use his athleticism to make guys miss and try to take it to the house. So, yeah, you got a playmaker, but that's the thing. Wando has got to find somebody that when things get tough, you can go to that guy, and that guy can make things happen for you.
Well, the Warriors, they're fighting for every yard that they can. That was the big fellow, the nose tackle, Marshall Evans. The junior nose guard, set at about 5'10", 245 pounds, alongside of those monsters on the outside. Evans, crucial, plugging up the run gap tonight.
Beckham on offense, Jack, 19 first downs. They've rushed for 228 yards. They've thrown for 158 for a total of 386. Conversely, Wando, 1 first down. They've rushed 20 times for 21 yards, and they've thrown the ball for 44 yards, but 43 of them came on one play. So Wando right now,
averaging a yard a play.
Yeah, just not their night.
Yeah, night to forget.
And you have to also wonder with them not playing last week in week 0, because even if you play, at least you get a chance to kind of see and kind of get ready for Beckham. Beckham kind of had a tune-up game, and they always say you make the biggest adjustments from game 1 to 2. And so, yeah, Beckham, they definitely have been clicking on all cylinders tonight.
Dude, that three-headed monster at the top of that 3-4, we're going to be really lucky to have the Bengals next week. That pass fired into double coverage. Great defense by number 8, Jackson Allison, again, all over it. It was he and looked like number 32 this go-around, Hank Apley. We got him next weekend.
Yeah.
Hanahan, Lucy Beckham. I'm telling you right now, when Hanahan goes and does their film study on these boys in gray.
And I can't remember the young man's name, but Hanahan had a guy last week that rushed for over 300 yards and 6 touchdowns by himself. So it'll be the battle of the running backs again next week when we're up in Hanahan for the Bengals and the Hawks.
Push comes to shove. Bend don't break. This Bengal defense, like you said to Coach Schmidt, reminiscent of those old school Steelers squads, 2012 Ravens.
85 Bears.
The fridge.
Yeah, those guys were pretty good. But, obviously this game has gotten away from Wando, but this is where you kind of have to be careful if you're that Wando coaching staff, because you don't want to lose kids. You don't want them to kind of check out. They need to know the importance and just finish this fourth quarter strong. Try to win a quarter. They've not scored any points yet, obviously, but for Wando, you just have to get something going that you can at least take with you next week.
Talk about strong. As we head to the fourth quarter, we'll watch this strong touchdown from number 6, Robert Myers. The Bengals, they storm into the fourth quarter. It's Auto Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Preferred Home Services. It's been all Bengals.
a running clock now. They're not going to stop the clock. So I'll be down on that trophy. Yeah, you'll go in with him and then present it. Newsy.
Welcome back to Bob Hayes Field. It's Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Jack the Longshaw with the legend Everett German. Well, they're clearing the benches. We've been told it's going to be a running clock here in this fourth quarter. It's the Bengals. Chalmers Ballard, his night done. Handing it over to the young sophomore. It's Finn Gunter getting his first taste of the rivalry.
Yeah, obviously a chance for now some of the guys that work so hard as well, Monday through Wednesday in practice to show what they can do. So, like to see for both sides, guys to get an opportunity. Just in the end, just too much Lucy Beckham from Wando tonight.
Everett, you made him the player to watch. It was Chalmers Ballard. Talk about a guy just in utter complete control in the pass and run game. Now that his night's done, what'd you love to see out of the young junior?
Like I said, just his maturity, to be able to take control of this offense, never really felt pressured, never allowed the defense to speed him up. And you got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line. He really had time tonight to pick and choose, make his quick throws, and never really felt just that pressure from that Warrior defense. So, yeah, hopefully he's taking those guys out to eat tonight because those guys did a great job protecting him.
If Bryce Rothwell, his Twitter told us anything, maybe he takes him to IHOP.
There you go.
Sawyer Hearn, Seabrook Kelly, Kellett, Seth Dameron, Anderson Ducker, Eli McInnes, and obviously Bryce Rothwell helping out in the pass coverage too. But you loved it. You saw his tweet about the pancakes all last week against Lake Marion. I got a weird feeling he's going to have a couple more tonight.
Yeah, those guys definitely accepted the challenge offensively, defensively. The big, like they call them, the biggins in the trenches, just absolutely did. They're just overwhelmed Wando tonight, and just in the end, and I think back to it. Coach Adrian, he was a little concerned about the size of Lucy Beckham, the physicality, and unfortunately for him tonight, it definitely played a big part in this Beckham win.
That ball's loose. It looked like the Warriors jumped on it late. But how about, that's the first time that we've seen Graham Thomas in the punting game. We told you, Jack Weil, he was a superstar kicker for the Bengals last year. Graham Thomas has been spectacular tonight. A really nice special team player by Seth Gittin, who said his name a couple times already tonight that jumped on that loose ball.
It's like a baseball. You want to catch the football in front of you. You don't ever want to catch it over your shoulders. You want to get deeper than the football so that way you can kind of have your momentum going forward. So a lackadaisical effort on the punt return, but fortunately for Wando, able to retain possession.
I think maybe everyone in the building a little bit surprised. Nobody other than Graham Thomas, who's like, hey, man, I got this. Punt game, kick game, I can do it all.
And right now, Lucy Beckham, I don't know what Lucy Beckham can't do because everything they've attempted to do tonight has absolutely worked for the Bengals.
There's that front three again, Kinlock in pursuit. That ball's going to be tossed out of bounds. That was, I think it's Zachary Osthoff back in the game, the senior quarterback, the starter for tonight.
Take a look at the head coach of the Warriors, Rocco Adrian. Just one of those nights that, unfortunately, just nothing went well.
I was going to say, I think, too, like you mentioned, if you're not learning from that film study, then it's a wasted effort. Maybe find a couple plays and then get rid of the rest. As Adrian, the 40-year letterman at Furman for the Paladins, have something to build off of, to say the least.
You think back to that initial Wando drive. They had the big play on the second play of the game. They were down at the 30-yard line. And unfortunately for them, not able to capitalize and get some points out of that. It just seemed like that was so deflating. Now that the game is played out the way it has, it seems like Wando almost had to play the perfect game to give themselves a chance. Meanwhile, this well-oiled machine that Coach Smith has created here at Lucy Beckham, just phenomenal. A lot of good things going on over there on Mathis Ferry Road.
Ossoff backs into coverage. He's going to find him. Carter Adams. Really nice catch on the outside. It was Adams who had that big 43-yard catch. That, about a 15-yard pickup on the outside. Talked about head coach Jamel Smith, though. And we talked about it earlier in the week. They needed a trophy.
Yeah, we did.
That trophy's going to head down to Lucy Beckham High School again, but it was your ideal on the trophy, man.
Of course, that was a West Shore home first down. So, Jack, you and I, earlier this week, we mentioned that, hey, you see in college in the big rivalry games, whether you're playing for a Oak Jug or an Axe, or I think Clemson and Carolina, it's the Palmetto Cup Bowl or something of that nature. So, but anyway, obviously Wando and Lucy Beckham, and so you have to have something that signifies Mount Pleasant. So I just thought the Blues said, hey, let's call it the Sweetgrass Basket, make a trophy out of it, and whoever wins, it could stay with that team. So lo and behold, you and I, we share our thoughts with Scott Eisberg, and so Scott Eisberg actually already had an interview set up with the mayor of Mount Pleasant, Will Haney. Lo and behold, he has the same idea, and I think that's in play.
Great minds think alike, and when we come back, Everett German and Mayor Will Haney, maybe to talk about, is they have vice mayors, like a vice president? Everett German's our guy. We'll take one of our last breaks. It's all Lucy Beckham 43, Wando 0. Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet. Bengal defense, a little tip of the cap. They leave playing surface as they head to the sidelines. A huge round of applause from Beckham faithful. The Bengals a whole lot to cheer about with their defense. As it's Osthoff, he's going to have enough to pick up the quick 5-yard first down. That clock will keep on ticking.
And this is meaningful minutes for them because, as they always say, Jack, you're only one injury away from being forced into a big role. So for these guys, even though you're up 43-0 defensively, you still, too, need to play because there could be a situation down the line where you would have to come up with a big performance.
And on the flip side, too, big minutes for Zach Osthoff as well to prove that he wants to be the guy moving forward, that the senior wants to captain and right this ship after a little bit of a mishap of week one. You see the numbers. Obviously, they got to get the run game engaged, but Osthoff might have to carry him a little bit with the arm as well.
I mean, look at that. You got 6 gray jerseys and not a white offensive lineman jersey, in sight. And that just can't happen. I mean, these running backs, talented guys, but if you have 6 or 7 guys on you, there's really nothing that you can do. So just a tough, frustrating night for Wando, offensively, defensively, the coaching staff. Coach Adrian said they had a great week of practice. They felt good about the game plan, but just in the end, the Beckham game plan just a little better than Wando's.
And will, right? They just willed themselves to win the night. As you saw, there was Jackson Edwards and Daniel Fletcher.
It's like Beckham punched Wando in the mouth, and Wando just never responded. They never got off the mat, never had an answer. And, again, you just can't say enough about the job this Beckham coaching staff has done tonight, offensively, defensively. They put this game away quickly. It was 8-0 after the first, and then Beckham went on to score 21 points there in the second quarter.
Oh, and there's another one on 4th and short. It's the Bengal defense. And look at Jamel Smith at the bottom left corner of your screen. A huge fist pump. He wanted to pitch that shutout, as you mentioned. And his second string, his 2 deep guys, they went in and they proved that they deserve some playing time. And Jamel Smith, nobody happier.
A total team win. Everybody played a big part in this win. And as a matter of fact, always, we like to talk about the big stop, the big play of the game.
There's your Will Lou Gray, never stop learning, stop with a game. Too many guys to mention. That big play on 4th and short, the nail in the coffin.
Yep. Coming through, look at that surge. 3 gray jerseys in the back field. Wando that play never had a chance to develop. Kudos to the Bengal defense.
I was going to say, I don't want to get it wrong. I do believe it was Jackson Edwards again. First to contact. Talk about yards after contact. Steven Seeger, he runs like a menace to society.
And that's the thing, you say, okay, we'll put in our 3rd-string running back. Well, the 3rd-string running back is just as good as the 1st-string running back, so it's not like, and they're not doing anything fancy. They're literally just running the football straight up the middle, and that offensive line continuing to just win the trenches on every single play.
With that 7-yard pickup, I believe, again, not the greatest mathematician in the world, I believe that 7-yard pickup, that, I believe, eclipses that 100-yard mark for Steven Seeger. Seeger at about 102 yards, and obviously we told you Charles Byrd over 80. Robert Myers got the 2 touchdowns. Team total effort.
That's the type of effort right there for Wando. You got 2 guys coming up with the tackle. First warrior there was Boone McClellan, and joined by Loren Whitehurst on the stop. So I guess the bragging rights will once again go to Mount Pleasant South.
I was going to say, thanks for reminding me, man. You and Mayor will hate it.
Yes,
the Sweetgrass Basket Trophy.
Perfect.
That's a good one.
Perfect.
Homage to the beauty and the history of Charleston, and 2 so perfect, so many incredibly gorgeous Sweetgrass Basket stands on Highway 17. Talk about a beautiful run.
Bully football.
I have no words.
Absolute punishing run. That reminded me of and I don't know, Jack, you're kind of young, but you might remember this kid. That reminds me of a Mike Allstock run. Used to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just ran around the corner, untouched, and instead of just going down, you lower the boom.
Stop it. That first down brought to you by West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. Something to admire, that big hit. Steven Seeger, it looks like there's a warrior down again. We don't want to assume injury. Just sending some good vibes. There's nothing but good vibes on that Beckham sideline. So we'll take our last break of the night. This is all Bengals 43-0.
Be at the 50-yard line, right? We just got to rush up there. What's that? Put the trophy at the end of the game. No, we're going to stand right here. Okay.
Looks like they're going to take a knee.
It's Preferred Home Services, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet and Everett. If that last run wasn't indicative of how tonight's gone, Steven Seeger's not taking the foot off the gas quite yet.
They have definitely been the enforcer all night on the offensive side of football, the defensive side. Beckham has been an absolute machine. And I tell you what, playing like this, if this Beckham team comes to play this way every week, there's a chance that this Beckham team could be playing well into November and possibly into December.
I mean, this is their 2nd year ever playing varsity football. We cannot commend Jamel Smith, Christian Hart, Jimmy Noonan, this entire coaching staff for turning this program into a juggernaut. I mean, last year they were a win away from James Island from winning their own region, and you can see they're already in victory formation with just around 2 to go in the 4th quarter. As we start to wrap things up, we'll go through some of our plays of the game. Everett, the Holy City Heating and Air, coolest play of the game. We provide solutions for every season.
it's going to be that interception we saw in that first half.
Yeah, when Wando did put the ball in the air, unfortunately sometimes for them, it landed into the hands of Lucy Beckham. So we see the throw down into the end zone, but not so fast, my friends. The interception made there by Perrin Keachin. And so that was, I believe, his third interception of the season. That was a very cool play for Lucy Beckham defense.
Perrin Keachin's a cool, bad man, let me tell you. 3 picks already in the year. A bright future in the football field. But that takes us right into, how about the Crew Chevrolet drive of the game? Crew Chevrolet on Rivers, just north of Northwoods Mall. You got a friend at Crew Chevy, and let me tell you, there were a lot of different drives we could have picked from tonight.
Exactly. There's been a lot of friends. Lucy Beckham has a lot of friends in the pancake business because this offensive line tonight handing out pancake blocks like people hand out candy on Halloween. As you see here, just big run after big run, able to throw the football down the field, throw swing passes, throw it across the middle. Yeah, every drive, obviously scoring 43 points on the night, a lot of drives, but that one is the You've Got a Friend in the Car business just north of Northwoods Mall, right there on Rivers Avenue.
Hey, Crew's got to give you a call. You hit that cadence perfectly.
Well,
man.
I'm sure I'll be getting a text from Ken French, telling me what I did or what I did not do correct. But
perfect.
Yeah, no, that's just one of those nights, unfortunately. But again, the crowd is empty, but an electric atmosphere, the tailgating before the game. I mean, it was packed, standing room only. Just unfortunately tonight, Wando just didn't have it for Lucy Beckham.
Hey, we saw the band right there, but Wando, and a well-established band, one of the best in the entire country. Lucy Beckham building its own program as well. We got to shout out cheer results, too.
Absolutely. Can't forget about the 40-man cheerleading squad for Lucy Beckham and Wando.
Lucy Beckham winning 82% of the vote. And the football team won 100% of that game. All 3 phases, the rivalry. It'll stay in South Mount Pleasant. The Bengals, they lead from start to finish. Jamel Smith building a powerhouse. Lucy Beckham, Bengals 43, Wando Warriors.
Beckham's played 8 quarters of football, yet to give up a point, yet to give up more than 10 yards in a game.
Well, they dominated on the gridiron. They dominated from the cheerleader fan perspective. We got to shout out to those young ladies on both sidelines. They both did an incredible job tonight. The Delta Force All-Stars cheer of the game, sponsored again by Delta Force Athletics, home of Delta Force All-Stars, proudly cheering on the Low Country High School sports. And you and I proudly get to be ambassadors of both of these programs, despite what the scoreboard says. Wando, they'll bounce back in a big way. But for me, it's all about the boys in gray tonight.
Too much, too big, too strong, too fast, too athletic. The Bengals roared in Mount Pleasant tonight.
Look at the boy, Charles Byrd, Perrin Keachin. They're heading you down to the other side of the field. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. Lucy Beckham with a commanding 43-0 lead. And when we come back, Trooper Bob, he's going to be with the Bengals. He's going to be with Coach Jamel Smith, tell you about all that went right for the Bengals.
Preferred Home Services Player of the Game Go Preferred. The company highly referred a plethora of running backs with spectacular nights, but they were led by their junior captain and leader, Chalmers Ballard Everett. He was spectacular throwing the football. He was spectacular in the run game. He was calm, cool, and collected tonight.
Sensational play from the junior signal caller. He did it all, ran the team effectively, got his team in positions to be successful. Some pinpoint passing, like you said, running, throwing, leading. Just did not put the ball in harm's way, and that's why he is our player of the game.
Coach Mel Smith talked about the maturity of Chalmers Ballard. You see the size, the intangibles, but it was maturity that grew up tonight. He and offensive coordinator Christian Hart, they were one and the same. They were really locked in together. But we got to go to our trophy presentation. It's sponsored by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1993. Trooper Bob, got to show us the excellence of the Beckham Bengals. Unbelievable night. We send it to you soon.
Hey, guys. Sir.
Chris.
He went off. Are you going to see me?
We lost connections.
We're waiting to get a hold of Trooper Bob. It looks like maybe a little technical difficulties. Not a lot of difficulties on the Bengals end tonight.
Yeah, no, they didn't have any problems scoring or getting anything done tonight. So Trooper Bob, we're trying to wave at him to let him know he can go. I'm dying to hear what Coach Smith, because it's going to be hard for him to find something to find fault with from this game tonight.
I was going to say, all week long, he just kept telling us how important it was just to seize the opportunity, about how important the rivalry was for the community. And whenever we can get Trooper Bob and he on the teller, they'll be excited, I'm sure, to talk about what a big-time win it was tonight. Hey, we're upstairs watching Coach Smith talking with the hands. His boys are rallying around him. Whenever we do get him, it's going to be about as good as gold.
I think we got him now.
The quarterback, he did a great job. He stood out among your teammates. Congratulations for that, Coach. Not only did your offense score 43 points, but your defense kept the other team from scoring.
This is how we worked all week. With our practices, I mean, we have worked our tail off all week for this moment right here, okay? Through all the heat and everything, all the adversity, we worked for this moment right here, and these guys showed up tonight. They showed up and showed out tonight.
You mentioned to me at halftime that you were trying to get some more players switched in. Were you able to do that, and how much of that were you able to do?
Yeah, we got all of our guys got to play, and that's what I said. That's what I was saying at halftime. We take care of business with our first teams, okay? And then our second teams get in, we all eat. We all want everybody to eat, okay? And get that playing time, all right? And we keep getting better and better and better. We're going to show everybody in the low country Lucy Beckham football is for real.
Congratulations on the big win. We got the Preferred Home Services plaque. You guys deserve it. You guys rocked it out. Congratulations.
Come on.
How can you not play for that guy?
Come on. I'm about to want to go throw some pads on right now.
I know.
Trooper Bob, you queued him up perfectly. Coach Jamel Smith, he said he's letting the entire state know what Lucy Beckham football is about. And tonight on Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet, the entire town of Mount Pleasant found out.
And the best thing about it, Jack, we get to see this team again next week at Hanahan. Boy, that's going to be a good one. The Hawks and the Bengals there in Hanahan.
I'm telling you right now, we're going to take one final break, I believe. When we come back, we're going to tell you a little bit about the Veteran of the Week. And I'm telling you right now, you're not going to want to miss it.
And for the final time tonight, Preferred Home Services Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet, Jack DeLongchamp alongside Everett German. It was a bit of a beatdown at Bob Hayes Field tonight as the Beckham Bengals won commandingly a 3-0 victory, pitched a shutout. But before we left, we couldn't leave without telling you about this week's South Carolina Veteran of the Week. His name is Dion Jenneret. Jenneret is a Johnsonville native and University of South Carolina graduate. He served in the U.S. Army from 2005 to 2012, including one tour in the Iraqi Freedom War. He is now a retired veteran and CEO founder of 7 Sunday Live, the best recurring live-themed music show in the Carolinas and beyond. To learn more about Sergeant Dion Jenneret, visit scdva.sc.gov, Veteran of the Week. You can also nominate someone to be recognized. South Carolina Veteran of the Week is sponsored by South Carolina Department of Veteran Affairs. We say thank you to you for your service. Obviously, tonight wouldn't be possible without the brave man serving this country. And obviously, we got a little bit of a running clock in the second half. We had to make sure that we got to kind of obviously shout our praises. And what a night.
Yeah, just what a night. All Bengals, not really much to say. Stat sheet, scoreboard, everything was in favor of the Bengals. So I guess the big question for both teams, Wando, how do you respond? Where do you go from here? And then for the Bengals, does this continue next week with the big showdown with Hanahan?
I was going to say, beyond blessed to have the Bengals again next week. It's going to be a huge 4A matchup. But before then, tonight, go watch Scott Eisberg and Webb Wright, because they're going to break down the entire Low Country. On behalf of myself, our entire crew, we got to say thank you to everyone who was able to put on this entirely incredible night. ABC News 4, My TV, Charleston. It was the Lucy Beckham Bengals.